He's still doing 40 hours, but you just cram it into 4 days.
Hey, Bernie, install one of these boards at my house, and I'm doing.
That's right. Look, everything's remote now.
Okay, you good with that? Let's cram 40 hours into 4 days.
You obviously did not see that there was an earthquake in Philadelphia today. We're all doomed. We're not Philly, New Jersey, New York. It was 4.8. Is that what it was?
4.8 in Jersey.
Yeah, 4.8 earthquake in New Jersey.
Hey.
So this is ow. I might never come back again.
Yeah, but that's why. But
it's a wrap.
This is why we have to cram in as many hours as we can, so we have more time to live our lives.
Nah, well,
I blame the Mets. They won one game and they raptured New York City.
Rapture New York City. Yeah, look, it's an interesting time to be alive.
That going on.
Hey, everything's fine. Everything's fine.
But that one shouldn't be your signal. I mean, we've had. Some of the fires.
It's not
in
the
areas,
signal. It's a signal.
It's another signal.
Remember last year when the Canadian fires made the entire New York City orange for a little bit?
That's right.
That's
right.
Well,
normal.
just because all of Canada burned, that's normal, right? That's what's supposed to happen.
A few years back.
It's a Friday, Travis. Be positive.
I told you I'm in a good mood. I'm feeling great.
This is his positive.
Exactly.
A few years back, Mexico had a big one. Mexico City looked like a war zone. Man, buildings collapsed. It was a.
What are we doing here?
Crazy.
What are we? Are we going through natural disasters?
I'm just saying that there's a lot going on.
I just said it would be nice to have a 4-day work week.
Dodgers can't even give somebody a home run ball without creating a giant controversy. What a mess.
It can't be
What
real.
a mess. Just a complete S show from beginning to end.
It went from a joyous moment of, I caught this ball, my favorite team, one of my new favorite players, to
her negotiating.
How much do you want?
Negotiating with Russia.
It's awful.
She got shooken down with a mafia over there at Dodger Stadium. Jesus Christ.
It was bad. It was everything about it was bad. What are you doing this weekend? Assuming you don't get stopped by the Dodger Stadium Gestapo, what do you got going this weekend?
I don't know what happens at Dodger Stadium, but crypto security guards seem a little nicer.
Yeah.
People smoke.
You can get high and chill out. And
a lot of people smoke. A lot of people smoking at crypto.
Got anything
this
good?
Weekend? It's the first I didn't know this existed in the NBA. They play Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, do they do that?
What?
Saturday, Sunday. Tomorrow
You're
they play.
heaven.
Tomorrow they play at 12:30.
That's better than 7:30, right?
I would take that until you have a 7 o'clock game on Sunday.
Okay, look, if there had to be a Saturday, Sunday, unless they're going to play at 8 o'clock in the
No.
morning, which would be my choice.
I'm okay with 12:30.
Yeah.
I would take 12:30.
You get Saturday night.
I get Saturday night.
You get Saturday night, and then you don't have to be back there till, 6 on Sunday? That's not perfect.
Till about 24 hours later.
So you're doing nothing other than attending Laker games.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically that's going to be the plan.
Don't catch any home runs if you go somewhere because they're gonna force you to give it up.
What do you got going on this weekend? What's
Nothing good. No, I got all my good stuff out earlier in the week. This is just a normal weekend. Michael comes home. Michael's been in Mexico for the last week or so he's coming back. Kelly's got volleyball, so the usual stuff. Nothing out of the ordinary. What about you, Em? Roars.
I probably didn't do a nice little long walk today with my friends. My friends are back from their wedding, so I'm able to hang out with them all the time. But I'm definitely going to sit down and watch these Final Four games tonight for the women. I'm going to watch the NC State, South Carolina, and UConn and Iowa. On ESPN.
UConn, Iowa. Yeah, that'll be fun.
I'm super. It's starting at 4 p.m., so I'll be seated. I'm going to probably go to someplace in Manhattan Beach or Hermosa Beach. Watch some.
Does it get rowdy?
Background. I mean, not really, and I don't care about being rowdy.
Yeah.
I just care about.
I'm just curious, is it because if you go on Saturday when the men play to there's going to be people there excited to watch the game. Same thing.
On Monday when I went to the bar, definitely got pretty rowdy. Everyone was cheering and everything. Even if the bar had 80% of its TVs out. I don't know if you weren't here that day because DeMarco was in for you. So I went to the bar and 80% of the TVs were blacked out because they couldn't, just the TVs weren't working. The sound in the bar wasn't working.
But they had a good solution. What's the solution?
The solution was they brought around shots for everybody.
Okay.
So our TVs aren't working, so here's shots for everybody.
Can that bar take over Dodger Stadium security because they know how to solve problems? This is hey, we got a problem. TVs don't work. You know what everybody likes? Free alcohol. Here's a round of shots. Everybody's in a good mood.
You know what they would have done at Dodger Stadium? They would have cornered each person and told them, listen, you're fine with 80% of the TVs
you're not leaving, right?
You got that?
Unbelievable.
They'll lock the door on the other side.
Watch that one.
Unreal.
Yeah.
So you got basketball today, a walk.
Yeah, walk, and then basically, I mean, this is my last weekend before I'm going to get really into packing mode for
that's right, you're moving.
and so I'm just trying to do one more weekend before I'm stressing out about everything else.
Just
I'm
tell us
favoriting
now.
Everything.
Tell us now. Give us
About
the
what?
details.
Oh, just
No. Tell us what time you need us. What
I already
right,
offered.
the
yeah.
moving company. Tell us.
I
Just
know,
tell us right
I know.
now.
I don't want to, have you guys break your backs this time. Moving everything. So I'm.
Warrior's
probably
got a
gonna
guy.
I'm going to use movers.
$200.
this time.
Yeah, $200. But right now, those $200 can go to diapers or something. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I'm probably gonna use movers this time. But thank you last time. I don't know if you guys can handle it this time. You're walking so much, you don't have as much weight to carry.
He
these
doesn't have as
things
much
anymore.
energy.
But I
Yeah.
do have a Chevy Silverado High Country from Rotolo
That part
Chevrolet
you
that is ready to be put into service.
But one good thing too, my new roommate, he does have a PS5, so I will get to have my gaming era
Hey.
started. Okay, I will be a gamer girl. I'm gamer curious. I'm gonna figure out what I like.
Yeah,
And
gamer.
I'm gonna
it's be
figure
great.
out what I like.
Maybe I like this. Maybe I like The Last of Us. Maybe I like Madden. Maybe I like NBA 2K.
Where do you dip your toe to start? Do you dip it in a sports or like a
I think
shooter
I'm gonna,
game or what is it?
Dip in with what I'm familiar with. So I'm probably going to go somewhere like Madden or because I played Madden, I played FIFA before.
Donkey Kong.
Yeah, Donkey Kong can be easy. Well, I don't know if Nintendo plays on PS5. Someone can tell me about
I don't
this.
know.
But before I get into like
I got a guy.
something I'm really unfamiliar with, like The Last of Us, things like that. So if anybody has any suggestions of easy ways to dip
Yeah,
your
I'm
toes
trying to
into
look.
the gamer world,
What's your
Most
gamer name gonna
popular
be?
Oh, yeah.
PS5
Yeah, you name it.
games.
I mean, people give me suggestions. What is a gamer name?
Demon Souls is ranked at number 13
Should I
right
do,
now.
penis thumbs too?
No.
It's already taken.
Don't do that.
You're gonna get a
Pick
cease and
something
desist.
different. That's not where you want to go to start.
I don't know. Maybe I'll use my old email address too from my old days. Goalie girl.
Goalie
6.
girl. That's what I was trying to think of. I knew there was an email that I've seen from you at some point that had
A weird thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
You know what's gonna end up happening? She's gonna end up playing till like 3-4 in the morning every night. She comes in,
Yeah.
her eyes are gonna be all, what happened? I was playing Marvel Spider-Man 2.
honestly,
which is
I
ranked
do
number
wanna see
2 right
that.
now.
I do want to play that game. That game looks really great.
Maybe you can get signed with an esports team and go become an esports professional.
Funny story. Before I got this job here, I had been applying and I got an interview for an esports job as a producer for an esports team. And I was like, in the interview, they were like, basically did a lot of lying in that interview. Like, oh yeah, I love games. Like, I'm really good. Like, what else? And I did not get it. So
Maybe you weren't
What
very
game
good
do
lying
you
about
usually
it.
play?
Very good liar.
Tetris. Yeah, a couple things here. I think yours. No, I think your
yeah, your
Yeah,
mic is.
mine's acting up, too.
You
Do I need to
gotta
slap
slap it.
That's
How's that?
Oh, that's
A little bit
that's
better?
Good. That's better.
There we go.
Yeah.
All
little
right,
bit better.
I'm back. Back, baby.
It's just the host mic.
I
It's
think
fine.
that
It's just the host
the
mic.
slapping
Does
is
this mean I can go home?
Yeah.
That's it. Trav's got
Just
it.
ask- Oh,
You might have to switch seats.
you guys talk.
All right, we got it. Yeah, Trav will figure that out. Here's where I am going to go, I think a little bit later. You were gone. At one point, Cody was talking about really good restaurants in Temple City. Do you remember that when we were kind of going through some of the different Asian cuisines out there?
Sure. Yeah.
Mr. Dragon Noodle House is, I think, where I'm going to end up later today.
Okay. Shout out.
Yeah, like Nintendo. Just got blown to it. What's up, Trev? Not even
no, that's the broken mic. That's the way that doesn't really work.
You know what you look like sitting there? A couple things you look like. Number one, you look like a guest. Like we brought you in as a guest. Number two, it feels like it's super crosstalk.
How do I sound now?
There you go, much better.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
much
It's super
better.
cross.
The rich, dulcet tones.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How did this one go out? This one out of nowhere. It's always been that one. We've had like a couple others.
It's almost like never mind.
Yeah. Go ahead. No, say it. I
Buenos
wanna hear it.
dias, Jorge. How are you?
There we go.
You seem farther today.
I was going to say this.
Buenos dias.
I don't.
From
I don't
far
like
away.
this. I don't like this at all. I mean, I
shift
got
everything.
one of. I can
Yeah.
move my laptop over here. This sucks.
Why does it suck?
because-
You have a better
Stretches.
eye
That
line
stretches.
for
go
us.
that way more.
Yeah, I guess I could do
Yeah,
that.
go that
All
way a
right,
little
we'll
bit.
figure something out.
My neck's going to hurt all day today because I'm going to be like, what, Em?
Yeah,
Oh, what, Trev?
I don't know. This is like trying to brush your teeth left-handed. I don't know what to do.
I think the gods heard you being so negative about everything happening
in
in
a
the
great
earthquake and
mood.
everywhere. All those
Okay, you
natural
can't
disasters.
say
They're
that.
like, let's
You
take his
can't
mic
say,
out.
I'm in a great
am.
mood, the world's going to end.
Both
Those
things
don't-
can be true at the same time.
Yeah, but then you're taking, let's put it this way then. if I am in a good mood and you're telling me the world's going to end, you're definitely changing my mood.
Well, that sounds like a YP. That's not an MP. That's a you problem. The world is going to end, and I'm in a great mood.
The girl was in a great mood, and the Dodgers screwed it up.
This can't be. What is happening here?
What do you mean?
How can they be this idiotic?
Well, I mean, we've been over this before. There are bad people in the world, and the people that were in charge
I know
of
there
that
are
were
bad people. I just didn't know they were that idiotic.
What's the difference?
You could be a bad person
that did a bad thing. They bullied a young woman into giving up a valuable piece of memorabilia. That's what a bad person does, and it is idiotic.
Yes. Bad people, stupid people. A lot of times those go together. Other times they're bad people who are really smart as well.
True. This one is a circle. The Venn diagram is a perfect circle on this one.
There is some updates that have happened since we talked about it earlier in regards to both the fans and what they have received since and how the Dodgers are going to, quote-unquote, fix their home run procedures.
All right, well, we will get into that because what had happened up until very shortly.
What had happened?
It was you couldn't handle a debut of your $700 million player any worse than the Dodgers have handled the first 2 weeks that has anything to do other than the field.
And let's just not blame the Dodgers. Shohei as well.
Of course.
Shohei as well. Like, this is not just
again.
a Dodger thing. This is also a Shohei
He lied
thing.
again. And look, that's 2 lies in a couple of weeks, and that's too many for a guy that's just getting started on a new team. That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers high-quality supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as access to product specialists who have the knowledge and experience to answer your toughest questions. Plus, their commitment to being your safety partner can help you keep your facility safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
The black and gold are back at home for a battle at BMO.
Absolutely electric to live and die in Los Angeles.
But it's not just any battle. It's a battle for Los Angeles.
It's the game in MLS. It's always the game in Major League Soccer when these two teams meet.
The fiercest rivalry in MLS. LAFC and Galaxy face off in downtown LA.
We expect nothing less than 90-plus minutes of amazing football.
Coverage begins Saturday at 4 p.m. on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app. And bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
See, now you're just piling on, Jorge. Just piling on.
You know, it's been awesome. All these mics didn't work. You and I sat right here. We did a show together, like a podcast, but like very close.
Like
so you take,
right,
you take this side of the mic, I take this side, and whenever you make like a point, you back up. So then I could have a little bit more.
It's like when you and Chris were on the couch.
Exactly. But if we both want to talk at the same time, we don't even realize it, and then we have to back up.
It's like two teenagers sharing a malt with two straws.
That's exactly right.
Just a Lady in the Tramp. That
Lady in the Tramp with the spaghetti. Right. Yeah. It could be any of those things.
You're back. You're all full and
for now. Mm-hmm. We'll see. We'll see. All right. So let's get into this whole Ohtani thing because it's insane. Let's just the Dodgers have aggressively tried to correct this morning. Okay, there is I'm going to start with the most recent thing first, and we'll work our way back. Lon Rosen, who is the Dodgers executive vice president, chief marketing officer, said that talking about the two people, the woman who caught Shohei Ohtani's first home run ball and her husband, quote, "We're excited to host them again for a special night and give them a special Dodger experience, and we're going to review the process." Okay. Somebody somewhere, maybe Lon Rosen or somebody very high up in the food chain, Dodger Stadium, Dodger executives said, "Guys, what the hell did we just do? This is blowing up in our face to a degree that is ridiculous." Because now let's go back to the beginning. We talked about it briefly yesterday. Otani hits his first home run, and the woman gets the ball, and she traded it for 2 autographed hats.
Ambar Roman,
yes,
is who caught the ball.
2 autographed hats, a jersey, and a bat. Right? Shohei Ohtani, after the game, said this: "I was able to talk to the fan, was able to get it back. Obviously, it's a very special ball, a lot of feelings toward it. I'm very grateful that it's back." Okay, I want to read that again. "I was able to talk to the fan and was able to get it back." Okay. What do you think that means?
It means he had some type of a one-on-one interaction with this young lady, and like he said, it's a special moment for him, and he's trying to return that love.
I agree. From Bill Plaschke's article, it says, while most of the Japanese speakers in attendance thought he meant he'd spoke directly to Roman, which would not be true. He never used the word "I," so perhaps he was talking about Dodger security team. Regardless, for a player already under great scrutiny, it was yet another questionable move that could have been avoided if he had just been more clear about the truth. Let's be disciplined here and talk about this in order. Be more clear about that. This is the second time in a couple of weeks where we've gone to the interpreter blew it. Okay, we're going to have to come up with a different excuse. We're going to have to come up with something else because this is, according to other Japanese-speaking people in Plaschke's piece, it's, no, the implication was I met with these people. If I said to you, hey, yeah, I got a chance to talk to those guys, that means I was with those people. If I say I spoke to them on the phone, because you would clarify. I had a chance to speak to them on the phone or something else. You clarify.
Dodgers PR
yes,
out to them,
this was intentionally done to make it sound like he had met with them when he had not. This is the second time this is already somebody we're like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on here with that player in particular, Ohtani, with the Ippei thing, with the gambling thing, with the investigation into it. There's already a bunch of stuff we don't know. Now, this is smaller potatoes than that, but it just feels like crap.
It was a jam.
I'm trying to think here, how can... like putting all the pieces together. Okay, that's the Shohei piece of it. We'll get into the Dodger piece of it in just a second. Look, Lon Rosen, that's a strong, big name within that Dodger organization. He's got to put out some type of statement trying to put out the fire. How is this a story? Like, how is this happening right now? This is the second just non-baseball story with the Dodgers. Of course, the first one is one that implicates potential gambling within the sport.
Much more complicated.
But this one, much more symbolic.
Hold on a second. I want to go back to much more complicated because, and this is what matters, they made it more complicated. They made it far more, than it needed to be. They started with story A and then quickly went to story B, and it's just like the whole thing is like, okay, I don't know what the hell it is. I know that's not what happened, but I don't know what it is, but that sounds like you know what.
Okay.
And now this one is like, what the hell did we just do?
This one, the reason why I think this one is unique in its own way, you had the two fans, and you're talking about the lady who caught the ball and her husband.
Yes.
They tell their version of the story. As they tell their version of the story, it basically sounds like, it doesn't sound like this is what happened. They got bullied. They got basically bullied into. Intimidated into, hey, that's cool that you caught that ball. We're going to get that ball back. And whether you like it or not, this is what's going to happen. It's just another story associated with the Dodgers that's incredibly unnecessary.
So,
you said something about the Shohei piece of this. Okay, let's stay with Shohei for a quick second.
Okay.
Only story that should have came out yesterday was Shohei Otani 2 days ago hitting the home run, but the story came out yesterday. The only story that should have came out with Shohei Otani was I was very appreciative to have that baseball, and I got a chance to interact with those fans. We got some great photos that are going to come out as well. It was awesome to be able to. I was so appreciative that they didn't try to do anything. They didn't try to go get some money. They gave me the ball, and it was one of the coolest things that I've got to experience as a baseball player. That's it. It's done. What a cool opportunity. I just like, I'm having difficulty wrapping my head across how dumb individuals can be at a time where it's such a beautiful opportunity to show your fan base, like, hey, we appreciate you at least trying to have a good deed in all this.
So here's the kind of the chronology of events. The woman catches the ball, and she quickly, Dodger Stadium security gets to her and takes her aside. They do not let the husband come with her. They leave him away from her and basically start a negotiation with her for this baseball alone. Well, this is like, look, anybody that's watched an episode of Law and Order knows how this goes. You separate people, right? You don't. Two people are going to be far more resolute in their convictions than one person by themselves. So they get her by herself. Her husband is not with her. They, according to this woman, she claims that the Dodgers said, well, if you don't give it back to us, we're not going to authenticate the baseball to begin with, which
basically losing its value.
Which basically makes it worthless, because then it's like, I don't know which ball it is. There's no authentication on this thing. So they're basically saying, you need to work with us or you're leaving here with nothing, is the implied, we're not going to authenticate it. They end up giving her a couple of hats, a bat. I think a jersey was in there as well. And then signed. Then it comes out that she had never met Shohei, that they were very aggressive in interrogations, probably the wrong word, but in negotiation, that there was a security element that was present, that was intimidating. And that it was done very quickly and hurried and put a time limit on it that said this, you have this amount of time to make this decision, and she got steamrolled.
And they even offered that, like, they would offer escort to their car afterwards with this memorabilia.
Because they have all the memorabilia.
People might be like, hey, give me something, and
sure.
we'll harass them a little bit.
And that didn't happen.
And they did not do that.
Everything about it stinks. And so then today, this morning, the story breaks that, we had our first date at Dodger Stadium. We're huge Dodger fans. We love, they're sitting in the pavilion, Latino Dodger fans, and the Dodgers like steamroll them. It's just such a bad look. This is your customer. This is your fan.
P1s.
Well, okay, can I ask you this? Do you think,
and you treat them like that?
Do you think that those security guards that bullied them, I'm going to keep using the word bully because I think that's what happened.
It's not the wrong word.
Do you think those security guards, do you think they were just acting on, hey, this is what we feel like we're supposed to do? Or you think there's somebody above them saying, this is what's going to happen when Otani hits his first home run, this is what we're going to try to do. We'll try to get try to give the least value, nothing really monetary in the sense of, here's a $10,000 check, whatever it is, right? Do you think that was a plan from up above?
I don't know. I just know that those security individuals felt empowered to behave like this.
That's what it is.
Right? And so
they felt empowered, but somebody's got to empower them.
That's what I'm saying. I doubt a security guard is just doing this on his or her own. Mm-hmm. I doubt that they're negotiating with this without some sort of directive from somebody higher up in the food chain.
So there's a plan. If Otani hits his first home run, here's what we're going to do.
Yes.
So, and I mentioned that because you could be upset at these security guards. Well, what the hell were these security guards doing? Somebody told them to do whatever they were doing.
They're boots on the ground. They're not the ones that are implementing policy. They're not the ones that are deciding and dictating policy. They are executing a policy that had been given to them from somewhere else. The Lon Rosen statement is interesting to me because we were talking about this before the show, and you asked the question. We'll talk about this when we come back. That could someone, Lon Rosen, somebody very high up in the food chain, have woke up this morning and said, what the hell is going on around here? How did we get here?
Yeah, what happened?
I'm going to fix this today. We'll do that next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
President of Hunt Auctions, longtime sports memorabilia auctioneers in Exton, Pennsylvania. Right now, with the current publicity and interest in Otani globally, you can see this ball being worth between $50,000 and $100,000.
That's
a wide gap.
It's a big gap, and it's only worth what somebody would actually pony up for it. But obviously, it would be very valuable to Shohei individually. So the Dodgers take this woman and their security team, and they get her by herself. They separate her from her husband. And I understand why they do it, because you're going to get a better deal if I get you apart from, because somebody else could say, to the point, the husband could say, honey, nah, man, let's just go. Let's just take the ball.
And it's not even have to be the husband. It could be her friend. That
could
was
be
with
anybody.
Her. Yeah.
Two people together, right? Just say, hey, they're trying to take you to the hoop here. Yeah. Don't do that.
Yeah.
That's it.
We're not talking about a gambling scheme where somebody lost $10 million. We're talking about a freaking baseball. What are you separating people for?
That's what I'm saying. You say, look, hey, Amber, no, that thing's worth some money. I don't know what it's worth. Let's talk to someone. Let's figure out what it's worth. The lottery ticket just landed in your lap. Let's figure out what it is. Instead, they separate. I get why the Dodgers would be inclined to do that, because they're more likely to get the ball back at a better deal for them, et cetera, et cetera.
And her quote, I do wish I could have talked to my husband.
Sure.
Kind of like, what the hell? I can't even talk to my own husband in this situation.
What I don't understand is why the husband or the other person just didn't go, I'm going with her.
I'm with you.
You can't stop me from staying with my wife.
Like, I'm not under arrest. Like,
right. This isn't a police matter.
But this goes back to, listen, there's certain times where, like, when the dust settles, you're like, well, I wish I would have done this. But in the moment and in the situation, I'm sure you are feeling intimidated. I'm sure one of the first questions that they asked once the security guards came, they're like, did we do something wrong?
Right.
They're like, no, we just want to, whatever the verbiage was, something like, we want to make, it wasn't you want to make you do, we want to come up with a solution, whatever it was. But right out of the gate, they feel like, well, why are there this many that's intimidating. It is.
Of course it is.
And if somebody tells you, sometimes you could see a cop and a cop has a conversation. Okay, I don't know. Is this a nice cop? Is it a bad cop? Whatever the case is, I could see how they got intimidated.
So the Dodgers this morning, basically, I'm going to read the quote from Lon Rosen again. We're excited to host them again for a special night and give them a special Dodger experience, and we're going to review the process. That's the correct response to where we are now. Now, should they have handled it differently at the beginning? Sure, but the horses left the barn, or whatever that stupid phrase is, and now they got to clean it up. And the cleanup is, we blew this colossally. We would like to make this right. In fact, what we're going to do is, here is your ball back. We're going to start over. Here is the ball. It has been authenticated. It is your ball. Keep the stuff that we already gave you. We feel terrible about how this entire thing went down. We'd like to get the ball back on Shohei's behalf, but you know what? This is not how we are. We're going to make sure that what happened to you never happens again. We're going to fix it starting today. That's kind of where they're headed. We're going to review the process. We're excited to host them for another thing. But this is the only thing you can do, because up until this point, it's like, you took what should have been a cool move, his first home run. Lands in a long-time Dodger fan's life. They had their first date at Dodger Stadium. All this stuff that we're hearing about it. And instead, it's like, oh, that kind of sucks. What a terrible ending to that story.
Let me tell you the issue with whatever the Dodgers do moving forward. And you're right, you're going to eventually turn the tape, or you're going to turn the page, and that's it. There's nothing you could do about it. But in my opinion, and everybody could have their own opinion on this, damage is already done. I already know. You already showed me who you are, and now all you're doing is just trying to react.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That
you're not wrong, but at least you're trying to fix it.
What you just said was, I don't believe those 3 or 4 security guards that were there decided to do that on their own.
I'd be stunned.
I believe there was a plan for when Shohei Ohtani hit his first home run. This is what we're going to do when he hits his first home run. And if that was your game plan, that's BS. If that was your game plan, that is the damage is already done is what I'm talking about. I'm not telling you that Dodger fans are all of a sudden going to look at the Dodgers differently the entire time. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, you have moments where you kind of show your cards.
Sure.
If you're the Dodgers, I get it. You spent $1.3 billion in the offseason. If you're the Dodgers, I get it. You're one of the biggest, best brands in all of baseball and all sports. There's also, that doesn't give you a free pass to do whatever the hell you want. It doesn't. And I think that moment was a really, really crappy moment for the organization and for Shohei Ohtani, and we're 2 weeks in. I know two things about Shohei so far. I know that in his first game
He's
in
bad
Korea,
at hiring interpreters.
I know in his first game in Korea, his first time, the first time you see any footage, the only footage that I remember is him and Ippei sitting in that dugout together, smiling and laughing, and a few hours later, everything else going the way it did.
Sure.
And I know that Shohei hitting his first home run, people are not going to remember. Do you remember when he hit his first home run at Dodger Stadium? They're going to remember what the hell happened after he hit his first home run at Dodger Stadium.
And I think I want to say two things with this, too. One, if you think this is an overreaction, that we're whatever, put yourself in her shoes. Think about your wife in that position, your daughter in that position, getting shaken down and feeling like it just intimidated. So that's one thing. If you think of overreacting, put yourself in that fan's shoes. Two, they took 2 days to get a hold of this. 2 days.
Because the story came out.
Well, she started talking.
So here's what happened.
As in nothing would have happened unless she didn't talk.
So exactly. So Al, yesterday, we knew she was going to sit down with a news station earlier in the day. We knew that at like 11 a.m. And the Dodgers waited until 9:30 a.m. today to take care of this. Like, what's happening? If she would have never spoken up, nothing would have happened, and it would have been just under the rug, and that they may do this to other people.
Remember we were joking around yesterday of our conversation had nothing to do with this individual. Our conversation was, damn, you gave that ball back for nothing?
Yeah.
So our conversation was, I'm holding on to that ball.
I think that's a big part of it because I think she probably started hearing people say, wait, you gave it up for that? You know that thing's worth tens of thousands of dollars potentially. What do you do? And then it was the reason I did
my experience.
Right, the reason I gave it up is because they squeezed me. They made me feel uncomfortable. They did all of these things. And, okay, look, I think this will go away. It is a terrible thing that they put this person in. It is an incredibly bad PR moment for the Dodgers, but it will go away. They're going to win a bunch of games. Dodger fans are going to be thrilled. Non-Dodger fans are still going to hate the Dodgers because the Dodgers are going to win a bunch of games. It will go away. Hopefully that what Lon Rosen is saying is true. They review some procedures and that the next person that has a milestone home run land in their lap is treated a little bit differently. That's all. That will take care of itself. I know I keep going back to this. One of the few reservations that I know for a fact that the Dodgers had going into the Shohei Ohtani business was, what kind of teammate is he? What kind of guy is he? Does he, how is he going to affect our clubhouse? How is this going to work? Not that it was ever going to keep them away from wanting him. He's too good of a player, right? He's the best hitter in baseball. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball. That he could be, Jack the Ripper, and they still want him in because he's that good of a player. But it's also one of those, we just don't know what we don't know about this, and we're trying. So in 2 weeks, we've kicked over a couple of different rocks, and they both look like crap. One far worse than the other. Don't get me wrong. The Ippei thing is like, say what? This is just, dude, come on, do better. This isn't a big deal. It was a layup that they missed. It's a bad PR thing, but that you can kind of move on. But when you look at it, it's just, there's two things that have come up in a relatively short period of time, and they both make you go, yuck.
I don't.
It's just a bad start.
I know what you're saying. You're saying that in a couple of weeks, we're all going to forget about this. You're not wrong on that. But like I said, there's a little bit how it was handled.
Yeah, but that's more how the Dodgers handled it. I'm talking about how Otani has been here a really short amount of time, and it's been a...
But Trev,
really?
the when I say how it was handled, what I'm talking about is it's not cheap to go to a Dodger game.
It's not, especially fans like them.
It's
who
not
spent the
cheap.
money, who spent the $30 on the micheladas, who spent the $15 on the hot dogs.
That's my point. I just saying.
Sure.
What I'm
You
saying
treat
is
them
that
like
it's more symbolic to me. It's like, come on now, like you're making so much money off of having the brand that you have. And listen, I respect the Dodgers in this. Since the Guggenheim Group took over, they're spending money.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to win.
Mm-hmm.
But as they spend money and try to win, they're going to get a little bit more out of your pocket, too, in the process.
Sure.
Can I add something? You guys brought up protocols, or you brought up protocols. I'm pretty sure there's a protocol when there's a fight that breaks down and when things like this happen, when there's like a joyous moment. Because when you go to a game, you're expecting to have fun, enjoy the game, enjoy whatever comes at you about the game.
Sure.
If you have interaction with the player, whether he falls on you, great, cool. You paid for those seats, whatever. She paid to be in those seats. She just happens to get this ball. But why is she getting treated like if she got
as
in
if
a brawl?
they got into a brawl? I'm with you. Yeah, we were talking about that
Like,
earlier. I'm like,
security's
listen, that security does that when you have two people throwing haymakers at each other and you're separating them and trying to figure out the story. That's not the case with these two Dodger fans.
That'll go away. I'm not saying it's terrible. Don't get me wrong. It is a terrible, terrible deal. I'm not defending it in any way.
I know you're not. I know you're not.
That will go away. That will be one of those, oh, yeah, they handled that bad. They fixed it. Okay. I keep coming back to he's finally on a real team. He's finally on a team that people are paying attention to. He's finally on a team that people are asking questions about. He's finally, and it's like, we got two things. One of them is minor league bad. It's you lied about meeting a fan. Who really cares, right? It's not a big deal, but it's in connection with this. It's like, really, again? Well, we're blaming it on a translator again?
Especially his opportunity of, because of how things have started with Shohei with the Dodger, that, you know what, you lied about meeting a fan. That just adds to what already happened, and the opportunity of where you're already kind of like the PR thing. Okay, Shohei, no, we all know you're the man. You're an unbelievable. We know you got $700 million. We know the income, that the economy that comes with Shohei Otani. We know all that. Got a fan here. Just gave you back your first. Well, why just? This is a good one for you.
It's an easy one.
This is a layup for you that just walked right in front of you. How about a quick photo with the couple?
Can I blame it on the interpreter?
And you're good to go.
Just blame it on the interpreter.
Can I add something that I hate adding? Plus, come on, it's your fan base. They're Latinos. Take the 2-second picture with these people. Dude, you know how many of my homies have the Otani jersey? I'm not saying don't. I'm not going.
I got two in my house.
I know what you're saying.
I got two Otani jerseys in my house.
It's like, guys,
of course.
2 seconds, take a quick pic, and let's go. Like,
it's easy, and they missed. They missed.
It's a layup.
They missed on the heels of missing a really big one. This is relatively small. The other one is not.
They're going to get taken care of. I mean, I believe that's not the problem. They're going to get taken care of. They're going to probably look at this and be glad that this situation happened, even though I would have had the ball.
The next time this woman is asked about, hey, how did that whole Otani? She goes, you know what? The Dodgers made everything go. It made everything right. We couldn't be happier with how this thing was handled.
They're going to stay a week at Shohei's house.
Something like that. It's
dog sitting.
What's next? 2 for 2. 2 stories, neither one of them makes sense.
I think also this is a big lesson in PR. Get ahead of your story. Don't let the story be told for you. Get ahead of the story. Take care of these people, and it'll all be fine.
What's the downside to this? Hey, you got the ball back. Yeah, it was great. The Dodger staff got it back. I'm thrilled to have it. I'm very appreciative of the people that returned it to me. I got to sign some stuff for them. It's great. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to meet them. Okay.
Or Dodgers interrogate your security.
By the way, anybody that wants to say you should have met them, well, at least he didn't lie about it.
Or, I wish I would have had the opportunity. Unfortunately, I had something else I had to do. I couldn't do it. Hopefully, there is an opportunity in the future for me to meet them.
No, watch. They'll take
that
care
picture
of
is coming.
But there's a difference to making something happen in the moment and reacting to, like we said, a PR disaster. That's all it is from this point, is their reaction.
Ask Slee's coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN. Hey, it's Travis Slee.
Black and Gold are back at home for a battle at BMO.
Absolutely electric to live and die in Los Angeles.
But it's not just any battle. It's a battle for Los Angeles.
It's the game in MLS. It's always the game in Mexico when these two teams meet.
The fiercest rivalry in MLS. LAFC and Galaxy face off in downtown LA.
We expect nothing less than 90-plus minutes of amazing football.
Coverage begins Saturday at 4 p.m. on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Hey, I'm Dave Denholm.
And I'm Mario Rees.
You know us from the LAFC radio broadcasts.
Now we have a new podcast called LAFC Plus, and you can find it on the ESPN LA app.
LAFC Plus brings you all the latest on the black and gold.
Plus, we break down the latest news and interesting stories from around MLS.
For all the news, fun, insight, and everything that is MLS and LAFC, join us on LAFC Plus.
LAFC!
It's available on the ESPN LA app and everywhere you get your podcast.
Join us.
Ready for an Ask Slee. What's going on,
Hello,
Francis?
party people.
Hey, party people.
I already
Happy
said it.
Friday.
Francis, I already said it, bro.
Whatever.
Count the program, fool. Come on.
It's a read a book. It's in the Geneva Convention. If I say it, that's when it's in effect.
That's when it counts.
I have a couple of quick hashtag athletes. First, are your Powerball numbers 3, 6, 9, 20, 24, and 41 for your favorite Lakers?
Yes.
And secondly, Purdue plays NC State in tomorrow's Final Four game. Does Zach Edey look like Sid the Sloth from Ice Age?
I haven't seen Ice Age, so I don't know.
I see it. I can see it.
You see it, Em?
See it?
Set the sloth.
Yeah, the sloth. He's the sloth that gets like stuck in the ice a lot. Like he's trying to get the acorn.
Okay.
I'm
no.
gonna go with yes.
Emily
'cause
was
I'm
quick
just
to go. I can
assuming.
see it. Like you that's
Oh
a
no,
good one.
Sid the Sloth. That's
Sid the
squirrel.
Sloth is- yeah,
Oh no, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Yes, that is one of the people that's with the big
Main
mammoth.
characters. He's one of the main
Yeah,
characters.
yeah.
Sid the Sloth. Played by John Leguizamo.
Yeah.
So Jorge, yes or no?
I don't know who the guy is. I mean, I know who Seth is, but I don't know who the
Look up
comparison is
Sid
to.
the Sloth Ice Age right now.
Sid the Sloth. Okay.
Who's he comparing it to?
Zach
Jack
Edey.
Edey on
big
Purdue.
man for
That's
Purdue.
not very nice.
Get out of here. I just looked at it up
I'm
too.
Sid the Sloth.
Francis, that's what you came with?
It's not very nice, Francis.
But does he or no?
Look, let's just leave it. It's not very nice.
I go with no.
Okay.
I go with no.
Well, you're wrong.
I got one from Chrissy. If you
What
want
do
me
you
to
got?
move on.
All right. Well, thanks, Francis.
Chrissy says, young Slee comes home from school and turns on the TV. Is he watching Maury or Jerry Springer or another one?
Jerry Springer had a little moment. It was so like absurd. You almost couldn't turn it off if it was on. Not like for long. No, I'm not watching hour episodes, but it was so absurd. It was so. I have a difficult time changing the channel because I don't know what the hell I'm watching, which is very common in TV today or social today or whatever it is. So I go Jerry. Yeah, Jerry was definitely. And then you could sit on your couch and start chanting Jerry, Jerry.
Everybody did do that.
Yeah.
I never got into those. Like the whole, it seems so
you didn't miss anything.
fake. Right? Just the idea.
Of course it was.
I get it. You got two girlfriends. We're going to bring out the two girlfriends. They're
Yep.
going to punch each other. Then you're going to bring out the guy, and they're both going to punch him, and then that's the end of the show. Every day?
Every day.
We had one called
Like, we're
Jose
going to
Luis.
do that
Every
every day.
day.
Every day.
Is that happening now?
No, it used to happen, but used to pay the audience. It's a whole. It's a mess
Yeah.
for them to brawl. But yeah, Jose Luis was our thing.
What else? What did everybody watch? I watched Full House when I got home from school.
I like watching Maury because then the results are in. You are not the father of the baby. Maury was a good one.
Well, every Maury was a paternity test.
Yeah.
Every single one. The thing, as somebody that's a little bit older than you guys, back in the days of there were only 4 channels, literally, it was Gilligan's Island and the Brady Bunch. Those are the 2 things that were on syndication nonstop. Gilligan's Island, Brady Bunch. Gilligan's Island, Brady Bunch.
Saved by the Bell.
Right.
Fresh Prince, those were Fridays. Was it TGIF? Thank God it's Friday, and it was like Family Matters and all those other shows.
Darb had hit for the cycle here. He's got a whole bunch of athletes. Do you want one police related? Do you want one baseball related or eclipse related?
Police related.
Police related. Yeah. Okay. Trav, when Slee rolls up on what looks like a police car but realizes it's a fake rent-a-cop, do you blow by them at record speed?
Can I tell you something? That's so funny. How quick does your demeanor change when you're like, just got to be careful. And then you look, I'm like, does that say security patrol? Right? Like it's not even
neighborhood watch.
Yeah, it's like not even one of those. Granted, they still have the light up top. I'm like, yeah, we're going here. We're going here. The mood changes completely.
Jorge.
It wouldn't. I mean, I'm not doing anything wrong, so why is my
just speed? It's more
change?
speed.
Oh, more of the speed stuff.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not like all of a sudden smoking a joint.
But Susan's always like, "There's a cop over there." I'm like, "I'm going the speed limit. It's fine." Why are you yelling at me that there's he's on the other side of the road? It's fine. I'm not doing anything. Take it easy.
Yeah, Brenda sees the lights a mile away. She's like, "Oh, look,
how about when you're driving on the freeway and you got that cop just camped out? And you're going 80, let's call it. Nothing absurd, but you're going 80. He can pull you. If he wants to pull you over, he's going to pull you over, and you just wait. Like, as you're driving, you're like, is he going to move?
Don't come on. Don't
come on. He doesn't move, and you're like, all right, everything's good.
That then it changes for sure.
All right, here's one more. We're going to let Darb do a back-to-back. How many foul balls have you dropped in your life? Have you ever gotten one? Let's start with there. How many have you actually retrieved?
I've never caught a foul ball.
Never got one.
Never caught a foul ball. I'm trying to think if anything. I don't think anything's ever connected to my hand.
Never got your hand on it. Even
I'll tell you the
temporarily?
closest I got. Qualcomm Stadium, the beautiful Qualcomm. If we could rebuild it, we should. Qualcomm Stadium down in San Diego. I went with one of my cousins to the game. Not cousin Slee, a different cousin.
Different cousin.
We're sitting there talking. Trav, I'm like having a full-on conversation, and whatever it is that's going on. I hear the crack of the bat. I hear the ball, but I don't really put anything to it. It's common. It's going to be happening. It's baseball, whatever. Next thing I hear is this boom right in front of me. It hits the chair right in front of me. So the chair, there was nobody sitting in the seat in front of me. It hits it so hard, and it just bounces. And some of those chairs for baseball, you just have, it's like a plastic, but it's thick or whatever it is.
Sure.
It makes a really loud noise. That thing was so close to just hitting me. Could hit me in the chest, could hit me.
So you got to watch the game,
I wasn't even looking.
You got to watch the game.
Exactly.
But I've never had a ball actually connect.
Have you ever got one in? Foul ball?
Nope.
Jorge?
I've been close as well, but no.
I've gotten one and been close, I don't know, a dozen times.
Where it touched?
Not where it touched. I've touched one or two others that I
close,
didn't get, but like a seat or two away from me where people have just caught it clean. The only one I ever got, Eric Karros up to bat for the Dodgers. Denny Nagel pitching for the Colorado Rockies. We were sitting behind home plate by, 20 rows or so. Straight up, straight back, landed in the aisle. Right? It didn't land in the seats. It landed in the aisle. Yeah. Took one bounce straight up, and I just, landed right in my hand.
That's
easiest thing you've ever caught in your life.
My brother's friend Robert back then saw the ball coming, reached up, click, caught it.
Yeah.
Barehanded. I was like, dude, that was a home run ball, straight up to his hand.
Dodger security coming, you guys?
Nobody harassed me and said, that's a foul ball off of Denny Nagel. Return it immediately.
We'll give you bubble gum and sunflower seeds. It's the highest offer we're giving you.
They immediately separated me from my friends.
I got a quick food one here for Alan. Big E, what goes into your making of the perfect grilled cheese sandwich?
Oh, there's a good little...
Man, I don't even know the last time I made a grilled cheese sandwich. Can I tell you something that I've definitely done? This goes back to the National Pita Day. I've used pita bread for my grilled cheese.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
It's actually amazing because it's got that pocket inside.
Put the cheese in there.
And if you cut just kind of that top layer, just a little bit, let's say like a fourth of the top, something like that, now it opens. So now you're putting basically all the cheese in there. Got the pan, a little bit, spray a little oil on the pan. I know this isn't ideal, but this is the Alan Sliwa pita days at 15 years old trying to make something at home. Spray a little bit, put the cheese in there. The cheese is actually different. We have a lot of the Middle Eastern cheese, and I can't
Doesn't
even tell
melt.
you. It's not even that it just doesn't even melt. Some of them will melt. Some of them melt. But, like, Mom and aunts would make them at home. So, primarily, we were using that cheese.
Oh, so they would make their own cheese?
They'd make their own cheese.
Okay.
Now, there's also the Kraft that we used to use all the time, right? Like that simple thing.
Singles.
But I'm not necessarily. Are you guys putting anything else inside
Oh,
of it?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, yeah.
It was a boring ass grilled cheese sandwich for me.
I mean, typically I'll just do like a classic grilled cheese. I make that at home. But I put bacon in there before.
Great choice.
I have put like a slice of ham in there.
Great choice.
occasionally.
You heat the ham up first, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it turns
Is
mostly
it
into
still
a melt
called
at that
grilled
point.
cheese? If
Yeah,
you
of
start
Grilled
course.
ham and cheese.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
ham and cheese, homie.
And then sometimes you put a little bit of shredded cheese on the pan,
Sure.
make that
Little
make
crisp.
the crusty. But
Yep.
typically, honestly, I make grilled cheese way more than I make PB&J.
Yeah.
And I do that a lot.
Jorge, do you have a little? Because there's one thing that nobody's mentioned that's a game changer.
So you put a little butter on it. You
Yeah.
put it on the grill. Okay.
Okay.
Then you flip it. So you put your cheese on top of that butter. So the other side is so when you grab it, it's not as buttery on your fingers, right? So that's how you do it. I put bacon. I put ham, and then if I don't have the singles, I like to use queso Oaxaca, which is that shredded cheese. That
Yep.
dude, and it's the game changer. Or you can put a slice of tomato on there sometimes.
That's the one.
Slice
I don't
of
like
tomato.
that as much.
That's the
I've
one.
had
A
it,
slice
not
of
my
tomato.
favorite.
When it's done,
Yes.
open it up because the tomato you want cold.
Yep.
Put it in
You
there.
want it
boom.
cold. You don't want to grill the tomato or anything.
It'll fall apart. It won't stay together because once
and
you cook
that
a tomato,
hot and
it kind of
cold
comes.
is a good combo.
You lost me.
It's terrific. It's terrific.
I don't like the tomato on the grilled cheese. I've had it before. It's not my favorite. That's why I didn't mention it.
That's fine.
You got a little
It's okay.
soup on the side. You dip it. Oh, dude, tomato soup or something. Soup, some kind
Tomato
of
soup.
Oh.
My Susan, I can't.
That's
Makes me
interesting.
feel like I have the stomach
Fideo.
flu. Even
You're
when I
Mexican,
don't.
get a fideo and it's grilled cheese, dude.
And a little avocado in there occasionally.
Okay, avocado.
You can do
Yeah,
that too.
Avocado's a good mixer.
Bronny James, Laker, maybe. Who knows? He's coming out. Maybe. Who knows? That's next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Contact text.
There's a headline for you. Dodgers getting ready to play the Cubs here in about a half an hour or so. Mookie Betts leads MLB in everything. Is what it's.
How amazing is that? That's the greatest line ever.
What a baller.
It's pretty good.
Oh, it's amazing. I love that so much. Leads. If you said you were leads in anything at any point in the season, you're really, really good. Leads the NBA in everything.
So you guys know that my rabbit hole more often than not is Baseball Reference. That once I go, and Greg and I have talked about this a lot, the best part about Baseball Reference is when you just pull it up, you can tell how good a guy is by how many bold numbers there are on the page, right? If it's in bold, it means you led the league in that category. Well, Mookie's entire 2024 season would just be bolded across the whole thing. It's
singles, doubles, triples, home
I
runs,
have a feeling
RBIs.
he will not win the, what would that be, the octuple crown. I don't think he's going to get that.
I
but
don't doubt him.
Yeah, maybe not. It's an incredible
He's been
story.
on fire since spring. So, like, since the
And
beginning
he
of
hasn't
spring.
told any lies, which is refreshing.
What'd you make? You did your blue review this morning. What'd you guys talk about? What'd you make of this last 24 hours?
So we talked very, very shortly. I heard you guys talk about it for like a half an hour. We only talked about it for about 2 to 5 minutes. Okay. It was basically, for me, it was a lot of just, look, it's being made out to a much bigger deal than I think that it has to be. It was a mistake. The Dodgers look bad in how they handled it. Shohei looks bad in how they handled it. I think the lady that caught the ball also kind of looks bad in
how so?
Well, just in the fact of that she was fine with everything. All of it was okay. And then the next day she even posted on Twitter like, "Oh, I woke up and I was so happy. Here's the clip of me catching the Dodger ball and everything's fine." And then you get into the comments and that's when it starts being, "Oh, you could have gotten so much more. You could have gotten
Isn't the story dirty? Isn't the story dirty?
Yeah,
and don't you when the dust settles sometimes when the dust? No, it ain't just the ball. If that ball's worth $50,000, that's not just the ball.
It's not worth $50,000.
I don't think it is either, but it's worth something.
It's worth something,
Guys,
but also if
this
she
is
went
an
on to
auction person that's saying it's worth 50
doesn't-
or 100.
that doesn't make it true.
It's an auction person
That
saying it's
doesn't-
worth. Okay, let's say it's worth $25,000. Is it just the ball? It's not just the ball. It's worth something.
It's worth something, but it's worth far less than that, I think.
It's also, then she's going to have to, is she going to go to an auction house and be like, "Hey, I have this ball," or does she want to keep it?
I don't know.
For me, it's not about the money. Like, if that's me, and I'm assuming her too, because all she said afterwards, like, "I just want to meet him." And I think Bill Plaschke came out and said they are making it right.
Now.
Yeah, well, good.
Now.
Good. They're making it right. I think that's important that they
here's
said,
what
okay,
the
look,
response.
This was mixed up.
Here's what the response should have been.
That's not why they're making it right. They're
making it right because it's
they
a
got
story.
embarrassed.
Because
they got
okay,
embarrassed.
but they're still making it right. Like, who cares what the reason is? They're making
Also
it right.
Oh no! There's a huge difference in why you're making it right. Come on, man.
I'm surprised of the response.
Look, because I just don't think it's a baseball number 172 in year 7.
No, but put that aside for a sec, Greg. What matters a great deal is why they're doing it. Making somebody apologize at gunpoint is not the same thing as realizing you've done something wrong and saying, you know what,
of course,
I got this wrong. I'd like to do over. Not because the internet blew up and said, look at what you guys are doing. There's a huge difference between
but
those.
it does say
that means it's insincere.
Yeah, it's not authentic. That's the point.
In the Plaschke thing, it also says like they're going to review their ball retrieving policies. So now, I mean, maybe that's just saying it just to say it, but they are going to go through and
we know that
again. Like,
but
it's a ball.
Greg, we know that. Nobody's disagreeing.
I think we're making it into a bigger deal.
Nobody's disagreeing with that. All I think anybody is asking for is, maybe don't need to squeeze one of your fans and make them feel intimidated on a home run. That's all.
Yeah.
Is that too much? Is that too much to ask? I don't think that's too much to ask.
No, absolutely not. And how that went with the Shohei Otani home run ball was probably the same as any other star home run ball that they've ever had. It was always probably done in that specific way. The fact of the matter is that you had a bad Ippei situation with
that's
Shohei,
a stupid way of
and
doing
then the very next thing that has to happen with Shohei when he finally has a big moment, something stupid comes out about it, so it gets raised to a higher level than it may or could have been
because it's him
2 weeks or 3 months later.
Because it's him, I agree with you on that. That if this were,
Oscar Hernandez's first home run ball,
it's a very different scenario. I agree with that, but context matters. Context matters. It is Shohei. There's already some unease surrounding him to a certain degree. And again, this is, if the Ippei thing is a 9 out of 10, this is a 0.9 out of 10. It's not even a 1. It's really not a big deal, but it's just another one of those things that, wait, another thing got missed along the way? Okay, how many times are we going to go with this? And that's it. The timing of it stinks.
Yeah.
It's the home run fiasco or whatever we want to call it. It'll go away pretty quickly. It's really not a big deal. But the fact that they had to get their arm twisted to make it right.
It's a story.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't. Here's what it would have been.
2 days.
Yeah, that it took a couple of days for the thing, the momentum of it all to finally get we're getting clobbered on TV, on the internet, on the radio. People are just kicking our what's off.
It took days. He hit the home run on Wednesday. Nobody cared, and then on Thursday, people started to care after and hit her up on Twitter, and then all of a sudden it became a story, and then on Friday they fixed it. I mean, look. I just don't think it's as big of a deal as we're.
They said they're
going
to fix it. They haven't fixed it.
Well, they're going to. Yeah, they're going to have her out at a game. They're going to.
That's all.
Otani said that she met them too. So
100%. Wait, what was that?
Emily, I agree with you. Okay. I think that's to me, once the procedures get ironed out, once everybody makes this right, and they will, it's what you said, Em, that I think is the most interesting part.
What? I didn't hear what you said.
So basically, I said, well, you said that they're going to take care of it. Okay. They also said that Otani said that he met them, and he didn't.
I mean, it's.
No, they'll take care of it because they don't have a choice.
Said talked to her, and a lot of it was lost in the translation between Japanese and English.
The implication was that they had met each
other. Japanese,
from our implication, and even Dylan Hernandez, who hates everything and everyone, said that we're talking about it through a Japanese lens that we don't understand.
If I said to you, Greg, that what, I got a chance to talk with these people.
How he technically meant it, and how the translation is not exact. That's what Dylan Hernandez, who hates everything, said. I'm just trying to, just because the guy that is a curmudgeon beyond all curmudgeons, he was one being like, hey, let's just back off for a second. That kind of says something.
How many
to
times
me.
Are we going to use this?
As many
twice
as it takes
in 2 weeks.
I mean, the translation from Japanese to English is not exact, and Will Ireton has not been exact.
I understand that.
You could agree with this. Just we'll put a pin on this.
Yeah, I want to talk about Bronny.
It was not handled well. Period.
No, the Dodgers did not handle it well.
That's all you have to say.
I said it at the beginning.
I feel like you're defending something that doesn't need to be defended. That doesn't need to be defended. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just don't.
It's not
I
defending.
don't get the defense of it.
I'm not defending them. I'm just saying we're making it into a bigger deal than I think.
My thing is this: so things don't get lost in translation. If you're a Argentinian player, Mexican player, and you go play in England, they make you learn English. If you're a German player, you go play in the Spanish league, they make you learn Spanish. Why don't they do the same thing here? Make them learn English, so nothing gets lost in translation.
Well, because we don't make people do anything.
Well, stop.
Give me that ball. To learn. We don't make anybody learn English. They learn English to communicate with their
And you can still have mistakes, even if you're trying to learn another language.
And you have mistakes, and things don't translate exact. That's all I'm saying.
No, they don't. But there's also
that's a simple one.
It's a pretty easy escape hatch to use when something blows up in your face.
It's like
it's not what I meant. It got lost. Oh, okay, I'm sure it happens. I'm not arguing that it doesn't happen. It does.
I don't want to go to my friend's house. Oh, Riley's not feeling well. I'm going to stay home. You lie about certain things.
That's what we're saying. That he's lying. No. Not that it was lost in my kid's sick because I don't want to go out to dinner with you is a lie. That's not lost in translation. That's what we're saying.
Funny he says, we don't make you do things. Okay, give me the ball or else. Come on, they made her do something.
No, I'm saying we don't make you learn. Like if you're a Japanese player, we don't say you have to learn English. If you're
they don't tell me you have to, but it's like
a Spanish player, we don't make you learn English.
But I feel like I don't know. You should. Why not? You're going to work here. You're going to live here.
You'll get killed for saying to play in Major League Baseball, you have to learn English.
They're not going to make it seem like that either.
Right, exactly. But
I just can't wait for the next.
He speaks English.
I can't wait for the next translating snafu. Because apparently we're going with that now. In 6 years in Anaheim, were there a lot of these? I don't remember any.
Well, he didn't talk to anybody. He didn't do anything. Right. He didn't take team pictures.
Right. This is the whole point.
I know, but this home run
now that he is talking, there seems to be a lot of.
Can we talk about Bronny? I came in here for. You always ask me, "What are you doing here?" I'm here to talk about Bronny.
You're here today. I like that you're trying to defend something like this. This is great. Yeah. We will talk about the future Laker, LeBron James Jr. coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. You just wanted to not talk about that anymore. Yeah, for sure.
No, because I knew I wasn't going to win you two over in any sense. And not
with that argument you weren't.
My argument was fine and sound.
No.
It was sound.
Definitely not the second part.
Which part?
Fine, maybe. Sound, no.
Sound. It was sound.
By the time we were done, you were arguing against yourself.
No. It was meant to be on something you'd said, and I forgot what it was. It all got mixed up in there.
Dodgers and Cubs coming up in just a little bit. It's a beautiful day in Chicago, except for the part where it's 8 degrees.
Yeah, it's freezing.
It's 15 degrees outside.
Happy birthday, Bobby Miller.
Bobby Miller pitching today in front of his hometown crowd.
20-something? I don't have it in front of me.
How young he is.
He
Parker knows.
He looks amazing.
25
so far.
25 years old.
He's just getting started. He could be another one of those guys that, just
By the way,
5 years goes by and he's the best pitcher in baseball.
Started last year too, where you just like I remember you always saying he wasn't intimidated.
Yeah,
by
I want to talk about
anything,
Bronny.
Go after players. So
no, he's the real deal. What do you want to talk about with Bronny other than somebody may do the dumbest thing that they could do and draft this guy?
See, that's what I want to argue, because I don't think it would be the stupidest thing in the world to do if you're the right kind of team. Let's say you're Charlotte.
Okay.
You're not good. You're not going to be good anytime soon. You probably would love to sell some tickets, sell some merch. Why wouldn't you draft Bronny in the second round with whatever pick you have? Because then just for the hope that LeBron says, I want to play with my son. I want to build my resume to say, look at this. I played with my son at a high level. I did all these things and got to do that.
So can I play out the scenario?
Yeah.
The scenario is...
Look at your face.
The scenario is...
I want that to happen more than anything in the world because it's insane.
The scenario...
But I just don't think
insane.
it's going...
Not insane.
There's one part that I like.
The scenario is it's a franchise that has 0 people watching them.
Right.
They're not going anywhere.
Right.
They clearly have shown that competition is not the business that they're in.
Correct.
So it has to be a franchise that checks all those boxes. Okay.
That's Charlotte.
Okay. And then it could be others. Maybe it's Washington. Maybe it's this. But that's an example. It could be the Pistons.
Sure.
For all I know.
Lots of different places.
But franchises that have absolutely no direction, you don't think they're going to be good anytime soon. So that's one box that you check off. The other box, like we said, nobody's interested in them. That's another one that you check off. Not a first rounder, using a second round pick. Okay, using a second round pick. That's another one that you check off right there. So you got all those things that you check off before you say, okay, hey, could Bronny just be good for business?
Yeah.
That's the scenario that plays out?
Yeah, pretty much. Because, look, the guy scored 4 points and 1 rebound or 1 assist at USC. He's clearly not ready for the NBA.
No one is arguing that he's ready to play in the NBA.
There's no argument for that. This is funny to me.
In a reasonable world, Bronny's in college for another 2 years, 3 years, and then
he wasn't the best player on his high school team.
Mm-hmm.
Well, reasonable's not fun at all.
Right? No, I don't want reasonable.
The scenario that you laid out, which is he goes to an also-ran team that drafts him in the hope that lures LeBron to their franchise. Instead of saying, I don't think so. Except for there's one small part you threw in there that maybe go, all right, well maybe. I think LeBron is in full legacy mode, full resume building mode, here's my list of things against everyone else's list of things. And one of the things that he can put on that list that I'm never say never, but I'm going to say never, that I don't think we're never, ever going to see again is guy plays with son in NBA.
And scores like 25 points with 8 rebounds and 7 assists. And what if?
Even if it's not that, Greg, even if it's just they're on the same team and LeBron's the best player on the team and Bronny's the 14th guy on the team and they barely even cross paths, it's just a truly remarkable feat to be able to write that line on your resume. I think that interests him. I think that interests him a great deal. The question is, does it interest him enough to go play a season or 2 or who knows how long on a genuinely terrible team? Does that interest him?
Which that franchise is already telling you we obviously have no interest in winning. We have no interest in being – the only reason why we're doing this is to try to be relevant so somebody shows our franchise.
What if he actually takes them to a playoff game? with Bronny, and put it into another sport, baseball. By the way,
but guys, hold on a second.
Just real fast. Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. playing together and hitting back-to-back home runs is amazing, and a thing that we show.
By the way,
what against the Angels? Of course, it was against the Angels, but
awesome.
that is an amazing thing that people
Only
remember
you
and think
would know
about. What if it comes down to LeBron and Bronny have back-to-back dunks to win a game or something crazy? Like something happens
That would mean Bronny
them.
would have to have a.
Yeah. Well, no, he would have to play in the game.
Bron would
be
the one that has it.
Yeah, no, but they both would do something. Hit a three like back to back.
There is no scenario that exists where this is a basketball decision.
No, of course not.
This is simply a
which happens in sports, right?
Oh, sure it does.
Definitely happens.
Does. But this, we could get her. We could maybe win a play. It has nothing to do with that. This would
That's
be
all icing on the cake.
Bring him in, the kid, and by the way. He's not going to lose his college eligibility. He's declaring while maintaining his eligibility. We'll see if he gets picked or if not, or maybe
he's not going to SC. We know
he's going
that.
to work out for some teams. But let's just say nobody drafts him, but somebody says, "Hey, listen, we will sign you as an undrafted free agent. We'll bring you into our team," and maybe that's a way that you can put together this thing where you don't. Because look. Second-round NBA draft picks are not like NFL second-round draft picks, which are super valuable. It's the second round. You can take some flyers here and there. Yeah. But it's not nothing. You just don't want to light one on fire. That just seems like a terrible idea.
Sure. So it's the same thing as like Shohei with the Dodgers. When they signed him, they made their money back immediately.
So did you just make Shohei and Bronny the comp?
LeBron. It's more of the LeBron.
Otani double into the gap.
There you go. He's gonna tear the cover off the ball.
He wants that ball back. It's his first hit at
Wrigley as a Dodger.
It's worth $5,000 million trillion gazillion dollars because Shohei Otani hit it.
When Otani got to the Dodgers, they made their money back immediately. Like that second, they made their money back. If you sign Bronny and you get LeBron to come too, that's obviously the caveat. LeBron goes too. You make your money back immediately. Merchandise, ticket sales, all this stuff.
It's not crazy. It's not crazy because
do the people of Charlotte in this scenario want to go watch a 40-year-old LeBron James?
100%.
Really?
Yeah, that place will be packed every single night.
Can I give you an example?
I've never been to Charlotte. Is it that bad?
Trav,
because that sounds terrible.
Wait, stop for a second. You're talking about literally one of the legends of the game going to Charlotte
on a bad team that they're not going to win. Who cares?
Jordan with the Wizards probably sold out as much as they wanted.
Can I give you an example?
I don't know that for sure.
And you know this more than anybody else. What do you think these franchises care about more than anything else? You think they care about winning more, or you think about making money more?
Sure.
They're going to make money.
Right.
So I think your argument is not a crazy argument.
It's not.
It's not a crazy argument. It's not.
I think it's
now,
hilarious.
whether he'll do it or not, I don't know.
The smart thing for Bronny to do is to go
God,
in the
I hope somebody does. God, I hope somebody does. Because
just not the Lakers.
You would not be surprised.
The Lakers. It can't be the Lakers.
I don't care who it is. I want somebody to do it.
I do not want to do
I
the
want
Lakers.
somebody to do it.
I don't think Lakers would, because I think they know they would get there'd be a lot of heat coming the Lakers' way if they did it. So I don't think they would do it.
Who's the last guy on the Laker bench right now? Like, who's the guy that plays the very least?
Yeah, Colin Castleton, who's on a two-way.
Okay, what's the difference?
Maxwell Lewis, maybe?
What's the difference between having Bronny James on the team and Castleton?
Well, Castleton is big. So.
But they don't play. Doesn't matter. He could be selling peanuts. It doesn't matter if he never plays.
The difference is one player is purely for marketing. The other player is somebody that you're trying to develop, like you've done with Alex Caruso, like you've done
How
with
many guys have they done
Austin
that where it hasn't
Reeves.
worked out? It's probably not zero.
A ton. Scottie Pippen Jr. was a two-way
But you can't do it if you're the Lakers.
Why not? I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm saying
I told you
want.
why. You can't do it if you're the Lakers. Because it's so incredibly obvious, and you're a franchise that does put weight on actually winning.
But it's not going to affect your winning or losing if you never play them.
Yeah, it won't.
It doesn't affect the winning and losing.
You don't think it's
at all?
a bad look for the Lakers?
Of course it is, but that doesn't mean they won't do it.
It's a terrible look, but it doesn't matter. They don't care. Like it's if they're keeping LeBron.
He'd never play.
I'm confused of the argument. Is the argument what? The argument is that they will do it?
No.
The argument is what?
But it's not an automatic no. I think they are just as likely to do it as the 29 other teams.
I think a team like you just mentioned is more likely to do it than the Lakers.
but I wouldn't put it
unless
past
LeBron
the
is
Lakers.
saying freaking do it.
Which has been everything in the history of his time
If
with the Lakers.
LeBron said he wanted to change the uniforms to red, they'd have a meeting about it.
It wouldn't happen.
But they'd have a meeting.
They'd have a meeting.
I think you already have Laker fans that are like, okay, this is cool. Let's see what happens this playoffs. There's hesitation on an extension with LeBron James. Now you're bringing in Bronny. I'm just saying that. I think you're going to get a lot of Laker fans like, what the hell are we doing?
No, there's going to be a ton.
Of course. But that doesn't mean they won't do it. The Laker fans don't make these decisions. The Laker management team makes the decisions.
There's a
lot
lot
of fans.
There's a lot of Laker fans right now that are saying, what are we doing with LeBron in general? Why is he still on the Lakers?
Because they're winning. They got to the Western Conference Finals.
But you're saying there's going to be a lot of Laker fans that say, what are you doing? You have that right now.
I don't think the Lakers would do it.
I hope they wouldn't.
That's my.
I
don't
wouldn't
think
put
they
it
would
past
do
them.
I put them in the same category with everyone else. I don't think they're any different. I don't think they're any worse. I think they're in the same boat.
I think Charlotte and
they
LA
might
are
be
the
more
exact
likely
same
to do
situation.
it because LeBron is here.
Right.
LeBron likes it here. LeBron probably does want to stay here for all the reasons that you're mentioning. He said, "Listen, this is the 15th guy on the team. What difference does it make? Just put him in there. We're not going to not go to wherever we're going to go because he's on the team."
When we're up by
What's
30
the downside?
against the Wizards at the end of the game, put Bronny on the floor and I play
Oh,
with him.
he dropped it.
That's going to be a run, possibly two. Nope.
They had to wait.
Oh, Shohei had to wait.
They had to wait.
Well, bases loaded.
Well, we'll see. Maybe they get a home run and muscle up another person in the outfield.
I mean, did you think that anybody would not get a hit off of Kyle Hendricks? The guy throws 85 miles an hour.
Hey, I had my best day. I couldn't throw 85 miles an hour. What are you going to do?
You're not a major leaguer.
No, I'm not. Let's try a quick phone call here. Let's go to Manuel in Gardena. Manuel.
Oh, wow. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
It's been a minute.
fool?
What's up, Manuel?
Fellas, hey, happy Friday. I think Greg is taking Friday a little early. Can I have some of that weed you're smoking, Greg? Because, my
Chris Ward and
goodness,
Torrance,
dude.
Green
Bronny versus Otani. Bronny versus Griffey Sr. Dude, Bronny is literally the product of his father. If Bronny was Bronny Wilson or LeBron, Thomas, no one would know this guy. And I hope that the Lakers don't do this. I mean, this has been already a tent that Bron put the Lakers under. I mean, granted, we got that ring, and I don't care what nobody says. 2020 rings count twice as much in my book. And I just don't think it would be a good look for anybody. This move would reek of like a Washington, a Detroit. Not even a Detroit. Detroit at least has history. Like one of these teams that is just searching for straws because this guy,
there's
he's
two
not
categories
even top 300.
No, but
you know what I mean?
nobody's arguing that he
has
is.
nothing to do with
Nobody's arguing that he is. Everybody agrees that it would be for marketing purposes, right? That no one's arguing it's the right thing to do from a basketball perspective. So that we can check that and move on. But there are two categories. There are the, hey, why the hell not? To Greg's analogy, the Charlotte, like, we just got to get people through the gates. Whatever they're coming, if they'll come and buy popcorns and beers and whatever, great. LeBron's here. The circus is in town. Everybody come in. Cool. There's that. There's one other group that consists of one team
right,
that already has LeBron, that is pretty good, that does have, the track record of trying to make sure that their best players, their big stars, are taken care of, are accommodated to a degree that is above and beyond the normal accommodations that regular superstars get. And there isn't a basketball downside to it. If this was you're going to draft him to play him, then it's like you can't do that.
The undrafted is a path.
But undrafted and
be a path.
Stick him on the team and on a tour or whatever it is. That he doesn't affect winning at all.
I hate
but
it.
He's also on
I
the
hate
team.
it, but I get where you're coming
that
from.
That exists.
The undrafted is the only path where you could say we literally didn't give up anything. We didn't have to go do anything.
But you're giving up a roster spot.
You're
if he's
giving up a
on
roster
the team.
spot. But I'm saying
it doesn't
that
matter,
you
really.
can't say
second round and undrafted is not that different in this scenario. And if he's undrafted,
second round is a real pick.
No,
people get picked and are developed as a second rounder.
I understand.
Nikola Jokic was a second
but
rounder.
there's far more guys.
There are far more, but
that
you don't
don't.
waste a second rounder for this. If it's undrafted, that's different.
If
Undrafted,
LeBron's
you
you're thinking
your
about
arm,
it. You're thinking about it
changes
too
everything.
logically and of what the player actually is. If he gets undrafted, he probably stays in school and transfer portal to like Louisville or something.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Unless there's we'll take him.
Yeah,
We're not going to draft him,
that's
but we'll take him.
And that's what's going to happen. That's going to be something, whether it's drafted or we'll take him. If he's undrafted, he's going to the Lakers. Like the Lakers will put him on a two-way.
That's the most likely outcome if he goes undrafted.
Yeah.
But there could be hey, look, I don't want him to go undrafted. I want him drafted. Draft him with the 58th pick or whatever it is.
Whether one of the last picks in the
Lakers are
draft.
going to trade down for the 59th pick.
I wouldn't be surprised. Would you be shocked by any of that?
No.
I know you would, but you would not. I would not either.
Of course
not.
Shocked, no, but more
annoyed, upset,
yeah.
frustrated.
Yeah.
Star effing driven town.
And with
and you get to keep the star.
You keep the star.
You keep the star, and they're pretty good. Pretty good.
Teoscar Hernandez.
There's a lot going on. Yeah, 2 more RBIs. He's gone 24 hours without one because they didn't play yesterday. Factor Cap's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Mason and I.
PM, and it's time for Factor Cap.
Oh, that's Cap. That's so Cap, Dad. Everything I've said is a cap, but I'm going to go back. First of all, it's not a cap. It is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hey, guys. I feel like baseball is one of the few sports that if I had a ticket to it and the weather was crappy, I probably wouldn't go. Like football, I'd probably still go because, there's very few of them. Basketball, obviously the weather doesn't matter. You just have to, brave the cold outside to get into the arena. But looking at the Dodger game and at Wrigley Field and
chilly
everything,
out there.
Super chilly.
At least it's sunny.
I would not go. It's sunny, but sunny, cold, still cold.
If you're in Chicago,
So different from you.
That the weather will be warm in a month. You don't need to go today.
Or even just random days this month. Even.
Right.
Yeah,
I can wait. I'm with you.
I also just saw some flooding near Pirates Stadium, PNC Park, and it's right up to where because the I can't remember which river it is. Overflew.
The Monongahela?
3 rivers.
The Allegheny?
I think it was
forget
the
the third
Allegheny.
one.
I think
I think it's the Ohio. That's what it is.
the
Ohio,
Allegheny.
Monongahela, and Allegheny.
Yeah.
I'm basically an atlas over here. What else do you want to know?
You're a Yinzer.
None of that.
You know the rivers real well. 3 River
They're
Stadium.
going to Allegheny.
All right, so the Final Four for the women's tournament starts tonight at 4 p.m. on ESPN. It starts off with South Carolina and NC State, and then followed by the doubleheader of UConn and Iowa. So UConn and Iowa was at 6:30. So Caitlyn Clark and a bunch of her teammates were doing their press yesterday before the game, and the Final Four is taking place in Cleveland right now. And so she was asked, again, kind of back to when Rebecca Lobo took some shots at Albany. She was asked about how she enjoyed her time in Cleveland, and this is Caitlyn's response to her time in Cleveland.
It's been really cool. I think, it was super cool. It's been really cool. I think, it was super cool. We went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last night. I think you could stay in there for about a week and still have more things to do. But I've never been to Cleveland before. It's been awesome. Honestly, it feels like low-key kind of like just a bigger version of my hometown, like Des Moines, Iowa. It's just obviously a bigger city, and I'm excited to play here. Obviously, with LeBron James being like the face of Cleveland and being able to play here when he first started his NBA career, that's just super cool. So I think more than anything, we're just excited about the opportunity, and we're happy to be in Cleveland.
So she loves being in Cleveland. She went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, could spend more and more hours at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So this means that Caitlyn Clark will love Indianapolis. Travis Petrocap. And that's where the first pick of the draft is Indiana.
This is set up for failure. Fact is the answer to your question. There are only a handful of really great cities, right? And the only one in the Midwest that kind of sort of qualifies is Chicago.
Yeah.
Yep. And the rest of them are kind of similar versions of the same thing, that Cleveland is a little bit like Des Moines. It's just a little bit bigger. So Indianapolis is a lot like Cleveland and like Detroit and like these other, they're just little different. One's a little rustier, one's a little more ag. It's like they're all kind of the same.
She's not comparing Miami.
One has the lake
Right.
effect.
It's not like, if you love Rio, you're going to love Miami Beach. It's like if you like Cleveland, you'll probably like Indy. It's
She
just
did not pull a Joakim Noah where he just hated Cleveland.
right. Yeah.
Berg, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's fact. It's like tract housing is what you're saying, that all these places in the Midwest are just the same exact thing, just in a little
lot
bit
of
different
similarities.
Stuff. Maybe
Lot of
just flip them around just a little bit. Like
Chicago's fun.
The kitchen's on the right side in this house, and the kitchen's on the left side on this house, and that's Cleveland and Indianapolis.
Exactly.
So fact.
Al?
Fact, and listen, she's trying to be very nice, too. Like you could tell Rebecca Lobo, she was taking a shot. She knew what she was doing. She's like, there's nothing else to do in Albany. Yeah, they're going to stay in their room. She was being very cordial, respectful, and I also think there was some authenticity there.
She's a Midwestern kid.
I was going to say
she's from the Midwest.
There is those similarities as well.
I'm sure she would love the taco place that Lindsay loves too.
Oh,
There's
you
always
just
great
took my
things.
point. I was going to say fact. As a matter of fact, Caitlyn, if you go to after the game, you want to get some tacos, the best tacos are in Cleveland.
Anybody that's from New York or Los Angeles or San Francisco or San Diego or one of these places, it's going to be like when you say something about another town, it's going to come across as shade.
Yeah.
It just is.
Yeah.
Because there's only a handful of those places.
Right. All right. So Danny McBride, the pride of my high school.
Tell me what the high school is again.
Cortland High School in
the Cortland-
Spotsylvania, Virginia.
The Critters?
Cougars.
Cougars.
Of course, Danny McBride would love the Cougars.
Of course, the Critters.
Cortland Critters.
He was asked in a GQ article about his feelings about the movie-going experience nowadays. He said this about movie theaters that serve full food, full dinner, not just popcorn and candy and snacks. So he says, I hate it. I can't stand it. I don't think it makes sense to combine booze with movies. You're going to have to pee. Doesn't alcohol make you have to go up and get loose? You don't want to sit there, drink beer, and just be quiet. I would have no interest in going to see a movie and just pounding IPAs, just falling asleep. So basically, he hates it, thinks that alcohol ruins his experience with movies, but then he goes on to say that, but if there was a dispensary at the movie theater, I'm all for
My
that.
brother.
So you agree with Danny McBride. You do not care for the full-service, big meal movie theaters. Berg, Petrocap.
100% agree. So it's fact. I don't agree with Danny McBride very often, but this is one that I fully agree with him. I've never understood drinking alcohol and going to a movie where you sit and do nothing but just sit there while drinking alcohol. It just never made sense to me. I don't do it. I would fall asleep And that's the point of the movie. You're writing something down, Travis, and I don't like it.
Do you drink when you watch sports?
Yes, but I'm usually
That's
out.
what I was writing.
But I really don't when I'm like. But I do. But you also can. I'm at home usually or at a game, and I can stand up. I can walk around, and I'm not missing things. So this is a movie that you have to pay attention to for 3 hours. If I
watched Godzilla and Kong. I don't need to pay attention to that.
But sure, but like if I'm drunk watching Oppenheimer for 3 hours, I'm up and down all the time. That's not. I don't think it's a good idea. I'm not in on it.
Al?
So I'm fact on this one too, but for different reasons. I think the alcohol part I care less about.
Yeah, but you like iPick.
I do like iPick, but the alcohol part I care less about. iPick I'll use as an example. One time I'm sitting there. It's a key. It's a point of the movie that's an important part, and I hear somebody ordering their fajita quesadilla. Right? Or I hear somebody getting...
the food's fine.
They're eating the Cobb salad. All I hear is the silverware while they're eating. Or they're coming in and they're ordering and somebody's asking, hey, can I get some more ketchup on the side? Something. It's just more of the distraction part of it. That's the only reason why I say fact. But I don't have an issue with the liquor part. I think the food is just... Naturally, they're servicing you. There's just going to be more distractions.
Trav?
I've never had a fajita quesadilla. That sounds good.
That sounds delicious.
Can I say something while you're watching? It's really good too. It's just there's.
No, I get it. I don't want the interruption either. I'm Cap. You want to eat. You want to drink. You want to smoke. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me at all. Your objection of, well, you're just sitting there watching it. When I go to a bar and I'm sitting there drinking and watching the Dodgers or the Lakers on TV, what's the difference?
You get up and you walk and you go to the bathroom and you're not missing anything.
The same as the movie. If you are missing something potentially.
If you're drunk and watching a movie,
I'm not getting drunk. I'm having a couple of drinks.
You're not going to remember the movie as well as you would if you were not. If you were
I'm
sober.
high,
try me.
If I'm high. If I'm high too, what's the difference there?
That's your choice. I'm sorry. This question is for me, right? Like what I don't.
I want to talk about Bronny.
I want to talk about Bronny.
Exactly.
Jorge, what do you think?
I'm with Travis. Cap, there's options now. You want to have a drink while you watch a movie? Great. You want to have a fajita quesadilla at a movie theater? Great. You have options. If you don't want to do none of that, go to the theater that does not offer none of that stuff. You just sit there and you watch your movie, regardless whether you want to have popcorn, beer, quesadillas, or want to get high.
You want to get drunk? Have at it. Go
the only thing that I'm kind of with them on is sometimes the fragrance of certain foods can be super overwhelming, and it's like I really don't want to smell your pho while I'm trying to watch a movie.
Pho's so good though.
I know it's good, but sometimes you're not in a pho mood.
Well, then it's soup too. So you're like,
yeah, I don't want to hear the slurping.
Yeah, they don't.
What if that's They don't. But what if that's the
they
theater?
Should.
What if that theater alone?
Movie and a
that's
pho?
all they serve. Pho and ramen.
Is that like the new Netflix and chill?
A lot of slurping.
Jorge with the walk-off shot. That's terrific. That's terrific.
On that note,
So I go to the Alamo a lot. It's full service. But the thing is that it's different than iPick is that you write things on a card. There's no talking during the movie. You write things on a card, you put it up, and they press a button, and then they come to you. They read your card. No speaking. They just kind of go in and out. They're like basically ninjas or whatever.
Not at this iPick.
So,
what's up?
Can I get you anything else? Everything okay over there? I'm like,
yeah.
Right in the middle of the movie.
My name's Cindy. I'll be your server during your movie. Is there anything else today? I can get you?
Is your steak done well enough? Yeah. Is there enough pink in there?
I may have to consider, though, not being an Alamo season pass holder anymore because I'll be moving further away and I'll be closer to an AMC. So, but the thing is, I've been spending too much money on getting food there because it tastes so good and it smells good.
Is the food good?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy the food there, and so
I've never had
maybe
a bad movie theater food experience, but I've never had anything like, man, that's good. It's all just kind of
their chicken tenders
basic.
are fantastic. I'm just going to tell you that. So I know that no one really cares about chicken tenders, but they are fantastic.
Are delicious.
No, they're good, but they're all kind of the same.
No, these chicken tenders are different.
Yeah, it's a piece of fried chicken.
Come on,
it's
get out of here. Okay, well, fried chicken can be different.
Good.
You can have good and bad fried chicken.
No, I understand, but the tenders, it's not like haute cuisine.
Okay, well then you haven't had.
When you go to Mastro's, you don't get the chicken fingers.
Get out of here.
Can I see your chicken? Where are these locally sourced chicken fingers?
Free range.
Can I see the chef?
You can't have free range chicken.
Hand tossed, prepared.
Trev.
Our chef created a special shake and bake recipe that will go wonderfully.
I'd like to speak to the chef, please.
The ranch is boiled over for 48 hours that he cared for
exactly.
this song. Anyway, I have had a song stuck in my head all day. It's came out today, and I really love it, but it's been stuck in my head on a loop, just like one phrase of the song, too, and I've been like humming it and stuff. But the only way to get a song out of your head is to sing it. Alf, after Cap.
The only way to get a song out of your head is to sing it. Cap, for me, I think it's more just distracting myself with other things, whatever it is. If I play other music, there's a good chance that I'm probably going to get that song out of my head because I'm vibing to something different. So Cap for me.
Trev?
Yeah, it's Cap for me too. You just got to start listening to more music or a podcast or something, more audio stimulus going
Something's
in.
got to come in
to push the other thing out. Yeah, I can't sing. I hate the sound of my own voice, so no, I'm not singing it to myself.
No, it's Cap, and it's actually the exact opposite for me. The more I sing it, the more it's stuck in my head, and the more I'm going to hear it over and over and over again. I need a different song. I need more music going into my head because when it's in my head, I'm singing it all the time. Walking down the hallways here and people getting
whistling
annoyed.
it all of a sudden.
Yeah, it stays there longer.
Jorge?
Emily, you've seen me deal with this. I have to play it off of the system here in order for me to get a song out of my head because...
We'll play it next.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll play it for you so you can get it out of your head.
Is the one that's been your earworm? We're going to listen to that one next, Em?
Yeah, we'll play it next.
Sounds good. Aaron Donald is done. Why not hang the number up right now? That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Sedano and Cap for your after.
This is the one?
Yep.
Who is this?
Chapel Roan.
Chapel Rose.
Roan.
Roan. Slee.
She's been opening up for Olivia Rodrigo on tour, but I've been a fan of her for like 2 years now with her song Casual.
You knew her before she went mainstream,
Of
before she
course,
sold
of
out.
course. Now she's
I went
all
to one of
big.
her shows 4 years ago.
When she was called Olivia Rose?
Yep, of course.
Chapel.
Chapel Rose.
She
Chapel
spoke at
Rose.
Harvard Medical School
We
like 2
just
days ago,
merged
which is kind of
3
interesting. I don't
different
know
names.
why.
Is she
Nope.
no?
I just don't know why, but she was speaking at Harvard Medical School, which is kind of cool.
That's always weird to me. Like when you get somebody that is obviously very talented or successful in one genre of things, and they show up to speak to a group of people that have nothing to do with that thing.
Yeah, it is very strange, but they loved her, and the song's called Good Luck, Babe.
Good luck, babe.
Good luck.
Babe.
I'm going to whistle this in the hallway.
I don't know. That's the one. What part of that song got stuck in your head, Em?
The chorus that we were just said is like, I'm not going to sing it.
Wow. She went all in.
I guess so.
And now it's going to be stuck in all of your heads.
She doesn't hate it that much because she's dancing there, she's singing it.
No,
I
she
think she
likes it.
wants it.
I love it.
You
Yeah.
said
It's
it was
just
in your
stuck
head.
in my head. Yeah, it's not a
Usually
bad
if something's stuck in your head, I don't typically associate. She said, how do you get something out of your head?
Well, it depends. Like if it's just a song that you've been listening to and you like that one for Emily, but it's if you get like the Macarena stuck in your head, that's another one. You're like,
Who
oh my
let the
God, just get this
dogs
out of
out?
here.
Jesus.
Who let the right?
Yeah.
Just something that's just one of those earworms, but a song that you like, that's not the
I
end
tried
of the
to
world.
see her at the Wiltern, but she had just gotten too big, and the tickets were like over $150 because the Wiltern is such a small venue or whatever. So I'll have to see her somewhere else. She's getting too big, guys.
Olivia Roan.
Chapel
Rose?
Roan.
Chapel Roan? Why do I keep saying Olivia? Why did I say that?
Because I said that she's been opening for Olivia Rodrigo.
Oh, yeah.
Who's that
we
girl?
merged
You
them.
know, Olivia Rodrigo.
I listened to an
Driver's
interview
license.
with Olivia Rodrigo on the New Yorker Radio Hour with David Remnick.
Amazing.
That's how I know her. Had she not shown up there, what do I know?
You heard driver's license probably on Kelly's.
Probably.
But
But see, that's the thing. Like, there are 100 songs I know, but I couldn't
you
say
wouldn't know.
this artist
Yeah.
sings that song. Like, if you played it for me, probably so. Dodgers with a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the second inning in Chicago. Aaron Donald, gone. Not going to be a part of the Rams this year. Probably. This is just me being a fan. I hope he changes his mind, but he's not going to.
What percentage chance would you give that he...
1%. 1% that he
yeah,
just
DeMarco was basically saying that it ain't happening.
he feels so good and he misses it so much. He's like, I got to go do this. I still have a little bit this left in me, but that's just me being a fan.
Would it have just? We're 8-9 weeks into the season. They're playing some good ball. Like I wonder if also he felt like if he got that urge and the team is good, something like that.
If the team stunk, he's not
there's
coming
no
back.
point.
Right,
there's
but
no point.
let's say they've played 10 games and they're 8-2, 7-3. It's a pretty good team. There's an opportunity to go
it's
back.
his first time not feeling, his first time
feels good
being in a season where he's not playing.
Yeah. No, I'm not putting it at 0, but close to 0. Why not hang his number in SoFi Stadium? I know that there's a waiting, like a cool-off period for when you retire before you go to the Hall of Fame. I know in baseball it's 5. I'm pretty sure in football it's 5 years. You got to be out 5 years before they put you in.
Believe.
Okay, so Aaron Donald's not going to do anything between now and 5 years from now that's going to make his resume more impressive, less impressive. He already has Hall of Fame credentials. That once you've established a certain threshold, Patrick Mahomes is in the Hall of Fame. Patrick Mahomes could go 6-11 for the rest of his career. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's won the Super Bowl 3 times. He's in the Hall of Fame. Patrick Mahomes should be in the Hall of Fame. Aaron Donald should be in the Hall of Fame. So even if we had that goofy rule, why not hang 99 at SoFi Stadium, especially first retired Rams number in that building, L.A. Ram. Why not?
I got to be honest with you. A lot of this stuff, and this has been a conversation that we've had in the NBA and things along those lines. I don't know the rules. I don't know the reasoning. The only thing that I would say, okay, maybe there is a little bit of hesitation on is if he did come back. Hypothetically, if he came back.
So what?
That's the
Take
only
it down.
thing. That's the only thing I could think of that you would say, okay, well, let's not do this until we know 100% that this guy is done, that he doesn't want to play again.
But
that's the only thing that
so
I
take
could
it
think
down.
of.
Let him wear it. It's his number. It's not like you're taking it away from somebody else on the team.
Sure,
it's
sure,
retired.
sure.
It's his number. Aaron Donald, when he plays, he wears number 99.
Who would
What's the
have
big
an
deal?
argument against it?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know either. I don't think there is an argument against
It's
it.
more like they might want to see wait a little bit or whatever, let it get closer to the time where he is going to go to the Hall of Fame or whatever. But it's going to happen. It's more just like I'd be excited to have it happen this year.
But even the Hall of Fame, I hate that they wait 5 years for that as well. Like,
Is
what's
Clayton
the purpose
Kershaw
of
going to
waiting?
do something that's going to knock him out of the Hall of Fame? No.
Oh,
It's like he's going into the Hall of Fame. So Albert Pujols should be in the Hall of Fame. Mike Trout should be in the Hall of Fame. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. I think it'll happen, if not this year, next year, very early on. Because maybe, again, like you said, they would have hold on and they want to say, hey, maybe Aaron will come back. But, like, imagine the atmosphere. Hey, what if they did it on the 49ers game, the very first 49ers game in SoFi Stadium this year, and Aaron comes out, they unveil his jersey? That'd be great.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I think
How about when he announces his comeback, they lower it down on the field and he goes over his shoulders, he puts his helmet on and runs back through the tunnel.
Every Niner would also cheer because they appreciate and respect what he's done.
Yeah, and Jimmy G watching from the sidelines now as a Ram.
Jimmy G, I'm telling you, that's going to work out. I hope he never plays, but if he does, it's going to work out. You understand what I mean. Shohei, home run, lost in translation. Dodgers are already trying to clean it up. That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. I have the more than on Shohei's season home run total, Slee. That's what I did at Prize Picks, right? I picked Judge, I picked Shohei, I picked Juan Soto. You can do season long. You can also do daily, right? This is what Prize Pick is. You pick between 2 and 6 players. You pick more or less on their statistical projections, and you can win 10 times your money, 25 times your money, in some cases, Slee, up to 100 times your money.
The biggest moments in college basketball are also happening right now. Be a part of the action on Prize Pick for both men's and women's college basketball. Of course, some big-time games coming up a little bit later today. I always find myself looking at the NBA, clearly doing it right now. A couple big games coming up, some of them affecting the Lakers. De'Aaron Fox and the Sacramento Kings going up against the Boston Celtics. De'Aaron Fox, more than or less than 26 points. Jason Tatum, more than or less than 30.5 points. It takes about 60 seconds to submit your entry. Make sure you download the app today, and also make sure to do this as well. Download the app, use the code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's code 710 on Prize Picks for a deposit match of up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Ireland is next after Travis Lee.
I had still had brown hair.
What does he look like, Pepe? Any movie star?
A very good-looking man is what I would say.
Little Joe Pesci in you there.
Joe Pesci's not a good-looking man. What are you talking about?
Younger days,
Joe
yes.
Pesci is this tall, and he's not a good-looking man.
He looks like you could be a member of the mob.
Yeah, there you go. I'll take that.
Yeah, you're a good-looking guy, Mace.
Thank you.
The OGs of LA Sports Radio. That's Mason in Ireland.
On 710 ESPN.
It's Evan Cohen, Unsportsmanlike with Evan Canty and Michelle. Now, mornings 6 to 10 a.m. on LA's mega sports station, 710 ESPN. KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
This is the Mid-Morning Spectacular live from LA Live. Travis and Sliwa on 710 ESPN.
Beto Duran in the house.
What's happening? Just driving around town.
Yeah.
I heard you guys talking about food and restaurant or food and movies.
What do you come out on that?
No.
You like the food in the movies?
No.
Why not?
Just get popcorn and soda and call it a day.
So that's food.
What
Yes.
about jujubes?
Snacks. Those are snacks.
Snacks. Like, I don't need a freaking
Junior
meal.
mints.
And I don't know what kind of places you guys go to where they're having a waiter at your
How
restaurant.
about a pho?
Cállate. No. And then you're breaking
Alamo
microphones.
Draft House, I pick.
What's that?
Alamo Draft House is here downtown, like a
What
couple
is
blocks
it?
from here. It's a movie theater.
I haven't gone to the movies in years
Oh,
as an
okay,
adult.
so-
I've gone with kids. And I don't go to the movies. I'm not a big movie guy, but I
Right.
don't want to have people next to me having a meal.
Why not? What's wrong?
Oh, you of all people should not be talking because
What's
you
the
would be.
difference between that and popcorn?
Trav wants
Popcorn
meals.
is fine because you people by the time you're
It's
done with
loud. It smells too. It
and
smells
the
buttery.
popcorn is usually gone by the time the movie starts because you're eating it during the previews.
Trav wants meals and dogs inside the movie theater.
Travis the guy who gets annoyed by everything. There's no way he's gonna have the guy next to unless it's sushi from Albertsons. Then you're okay.
That's all they're serving.
Do
is
they? I think I've seen sushi on some movie theater
Probably.
menus.
Buy some roll. Yeah, they're probably
that's
probably not as
perfectly
good as
fine.
the Albertsons.
Just I don't need cutlery or like things around me. I
Like
don't need
silverware banging on
no,
plates?
No, like
Does
all
the
that
smell
stuff, no.
bother you?
Oh, absolutely.
The smell is a lot.
The smell is the worst part of it because
Yeah.
so for example, the guy next to me last night, I went to see Monkey Man. He had chicken tenders, which again
Chicken
I
tenders
love the
at a
chicken
movie?
tenders. They smell really great, and it just made me hungry. But yeah, the smell of chicken tenders.
Should ask for one.
You pay like $100 to go to the movies or what?
Oh, I have a season pass.
she's
that
got
pays
a season
$30
pass.
No,
a month.
but for dinner, like
No, I mean that's why I get into trouble where I spend more money than I should at the movie
it's
theaters.
expensive.
But yesterday I did
Definitely
not get any
expensive.
food at the movie theater. I was proud of myself.
You ever gotten shaken down by Dodger Stadium security after getting a foul ball?
I got I would say detained for trying to pass off some tickets.
Oh.
Okay.
But it was in the parking lot.
Yeah.
You just gave them the basic name because I'm like, they're like, you're selling these tickets? I'm like, I'm not selling them.
Yeah.
Give me your ID. I'm not giving you my ID. I was like 18 at the time.
Yeah.
Did
Like,
they
well, what's
separate
your name?
you and whoever you were with?
But I did give them the universal. You got to always have an alias, right? The universal Jose Gomez. Like Joe Smith. I mean,
Jose Gomez and Joe Smith.
yeah, like, okay.
You can't use Jose Gomez. You can use Joe Smith.
put me in the database. No problem.
Ali Smith.
Huh? There you go. So I was listening. I was in Palm Springs. I did a fight at Fantasy Springs last night. So I was driving in this morning.
Just missed it. I was out in Palm Springs this week.
You and I were texting
That's right.
yesterday. We needed one more yesterday too. That would have been beautiful.
I would have. Fights are great.
No, for the golf course.
Oh,
when
that's
I texted you in the
right.
morning for the
That's
golf.
right. Yeah, that's
Oh
right.
yeah.
How'd you play?
So it was good. Beautiful course. Great conditions.
We know then. Then that describes
No, it's
everything.
a tough course because it's narrow on certain spots, and in the desert, if the ball goes into the bushes, you don't want to go in there because there's snakes.
Yeah, no
And
thanks.
cactus and
No
everything
thanks.
else.
Yeah. So I lost
A couple
12.
of beers?
Uh,
When was the fight? Last night too?
Last-
All right, so we'll say no to the beers.
no. I had cocktails.
Oh.
Yeah. I've been on your thing. Well, I've been going tequila neat.
Okay.
Non-additive, so I've been pretty good about
A
that
little
stuff.
less sugar.
Oh, absolutely no sugar.
Less
Just like that.
calories, less everything.
Yeah. I'm looking
Still
at
get
Travis,
that good
man.
buzz.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're looking at me?
I'm looking at you. Like I want
Lost
your
weight.
example.
Oh, I see. This is like paying it forward. DeMarco inspires me. I inspire Beto.
I've now realized that at 45, I need to get more steps in. And my knee is busted. It's torn meniscus. I can't run. So I started walking because you said you started walking. Now I'm looking at my steps. I'm like, if old man Trav could get 10,000,
Dr.
I can
Clapper
do it
is shedding a tear right now because Dr. Clapper always says, don't run.
too. You're the pre-op or post-op. Yeah.
Don't pound
Believe me,
the
we've all been in
knees,
Clapper's
all
office
that
for 4
stuff.
hours.
Do a bicycle, like the
swim.
Stationary bike, swim,
Yeah,
or
swim,
walk.
that's right.
Yeah. But your question about security, that's just Dodger Stadium protocol. A lot of stadiums are like that too. It's just more heightened because it was Otani.
Of course it is.
If it was Kike's first home run back with the Dodgers, hey, whatever you want. You know what? No. We'll pay you to take that ball away. Like, don't worry about it.
Clear out the clutter.
But that's protocol like that? That's not good protocol then.
Well, no. It's because it's who it was.
Mm-hmm.
It's Otani. So because it's Otani, again, I'm listening. People were texting me like, "Hey, this is kind of what happened." So, but that's a lot of stadiums around the major leagues. When it's a big, significant person, they're going to get you in.
It's that the ball had value that changed everything.
It without a doubt, it's his first as a Dodger,
Sure.
and
Yep.
there's so much money to be made off of that. So, did they bully him? The words you guys were saying? They intimidated him pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. They did the thing you do when you're trying to get
because that's what but that's what happens every single time something happens. Anytime it's a rookie that gets called up or something like that, fans that are remember, people go to the outfield to catch that ball to try to sell it back.
Sure.
These are hardcore fans. You got to know, like, if I catch it, what am I going to trade for? So a lot of people come up and like, I want season tickets. Okay, it's a negotiation.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't have to give up the ball.
Sure. No.
And she could have just said, no, I'm not going to do that. But like
I think the husband said if they could do it all over again, they wouldn't have given it up.
Yeah,
they just kept it.
They would have given it up because
they would have given it up. What happened? Here's what happened. They had an experience that wasn't great. And then when they had the next day, when everything comes back around again, and guys like Beto and Travis and Al are saying, man, I can't believe that's all they got for that. They started saying, hey, wait, what did we give up?
How much did we
lose
by
in this
not getting
negotiation?
something?
And then somebody says, hey, how did this go down? They explain it. Well, what do you mean your husband wasn't with you? And then the light gets shined in on this stuff. And to your point, Beto, and you're right, because it's Ohtani, it's blown up. But here's the thing. When you bring in a player like that, when you're paying him like that, you better be ready for that bright light to be shown in every corner of your organization because that's just, it's going to happen.
On top of that, listen, if you're not a Dodger fan, it's not like you're excited about this franchise that just spent $1.3 billion. There's a lot of people also looking to see, can we poke holes in this? Can we find a negative story about the Dodgers? And when they get that opportunity, they're going to take advantage of it.
But the thing with this is she started doing the media circuit. So she was on my boy Jay Cruz. That's where I first started seeing this.
Yeah.
She was doing the
It was
TV.
everywhere.
It was everywhere.
She did Dodgers Nation. She's
everywhere.
been
Fox
everywhere.
Sports or
And then
Fox News.
with Twitter, it's like, same thing. That's all you got?
Yeah.
But at the same time, we don't know what was being said because there's always two sides to every story. You don't know what happened, and the Dodgers aren't going to say anything.
Two things can be true at the same time. She could have gotten a raw deal, and this could be how it goes most of the time.
Correct. So a lot of times, from what somebody told me, is fans go in there and say, hey, I want 3 bats, and I want this, and it's up to the player to decide, yeah, I'll do it. Okay. But then the player's like, you know what? That's a lot. I don't need this, whatever. Keep the ball, keep the stuff, whatever. And then it's a negotiation. Like when you go buy a car, right? How many times is it like, let me go talk to my manager. Hey, your husband.
But it wasn't a fair negotiation, Beto. I think that's the part that's a little unseemly for Dodger fans.
It felt dirty.
It felt bad because it wasn't, hey, guys, come on in here, sit down. Let's figure out how what we do. It's, husbands, stay over there. You come over here. We're not going to let you guys talk to each other.
Well, that's
security guards standing there menacingly.
You know this. You even said it. You watch Law and Order. Okay, you separate them because
of course
she's going to say, "Oh, I love the Dodgers." Hypothetically, whatever. Give me a hat, and he's going to be like, "No. I want season tickets."
Right.
No, you gave him $700 million.
I understand why they did it.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, why are we negotiating so hard with 2 Dodger fans? You could turn this into a positive, like the what we were talking about earlier of Shohei and whatever was said from Shohei to reporters, if it was the translation was caught off. You could use this as a look at this fan.
You have a sales background. You negotiate everything.
Yeah, but there's ways to make things look good and there's ways to look bad. The Dodgers looked bad this morning.
Yeah, because she started talking.
But that's my point. My
No,
point
they
is
look
there's
bad
a way
because
to do
But
it.
if she had never said it, we never would have known that this happened.
Fair enough.
A good salesman.
They did wasn't wrong.
Right.
What was that?
Doesn't mean that what they did wasn't wrong.
Right.
If no one says
But she agreed to the deal, didn't she?
But again, taking advantage of someone's naivete does not make it okay.
Now, if the Dodgers would have got
that
stuff from her and sold it, then forget it.
No, I
it's
hear
going
what you're saying.
to Otani.
But there's a middle here that she was inexperienced. She did not understand the value of what she had.
But they negotiate
clearly.
with fans all the time.
They do. But they used her inexperience. They used her isolation against her. And just because you can take advantage of somebody doesn't make it right.
But Trav, again, it's not right. The optics are absolutely wrong. We don't know what the Dodgers offered at first. We don't know what she requested. We don't know the whole story. Again, it's not like this is like an 18-year-old kid got taken away from the parents, right? This is a grown a man and woman.
She's my age.
Grown.
Yes.
Right?
She's an adult. Yes.
But I can still be intimidated and I can still be scary.
We can all be intimidated, especially when there's a bunch of security around. But you can also hold your ground, but no, I want something else.
I don't understand why they were as comfortable being separated. Like, to just say, no, we're going to stay together. Yeah. It's not like they're going to physically
I can see that
remove
because the security, and there's a lot of, because you have, again, you probably have the team
but all
security.
She would have to say is, we're not talking about this until my husband's with me or my friend.
Exactly.
And what if? And by the way, what happens? Just like curious, if he says, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go through the security and go next to my wife. What are they going to do?
Nothing.
They're not going to do anything to you. You have all the control. Like she
didn't realize that.
Yeah, for them saying that we're not going to authenticate the ball, that's protocol all over Major League Baseball. But if you leave the stadium, then but they can still get authenticated from somebody else.
She doesn't know that. And that's what I mean. They're taking advantage of her naivete.
It's terrible.
They're taking advantage of somebody that doesn't know the landscape of the thing. And just because I can rip you off doesn't mean I should.
No.
And that's where I think my objection is. And I think where the people that are looking at this, is it the crime of the century? No. Is it one of these things that Dodgers will clean it up? And will we be talking about this by Sunday afternoon?
No. Here's what's going to happen. Lon Rosen's going to do a great job, and they're going to get the top of the line experience. They're going to get the Otani meet and greet. They're
100% they will.
It'll be fine, and we're going to figure about it in 2 days. It should have just been like, hey, okay, we'll give you a couple hats, bat, whatever it is. I don't even know the full details, but hey, here's the picture with Otani. Do that. That's it.
If they got the picture, although I think you're probably right, Beto. But here's the thing: I'm highly suspect of the price tag I've seen on that, but it's not nothing. Right? You've seen 100. You've seen
even if it's 10 grand.
10.
Dude, the Japanese market is crazy for anything. Why do you think Dylan Hernandez is now tweeting only in Japanese?
But
his numbers have quadrupled.
Lowball it. Let's just say it's 10 grand. It's 10 grand.
Yes.
10 grand?
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
$100. You go to dinner with Emily.
Well, I want my picture with him. Well, I want the experience of meeting him. That's fine. If you sent to most people, do you want a picture with Shohei Ohtani with his arm around you holding up the ball, or do you want $10,000?
10 grand.
Almost everybody's taking the 10 grand.
Yeah.
Just about everybody.
Yeah.
And that she didn't know what she had was to the Dodgers and to Shohei's advantage.
Yeah, so here's what you do if you're a Dodger fan. Anything Ohtani related, have your negotiation keys ready to go. Have his first grand slam.
Sure.
You catch it. I want this. I want
walk
that.
off.
Walk off. Oh, his first walk off, because anything Ohtani related is huge in Japan. So just because you don't get it authenticated by MLB baseball doesn't mean you can't get it authenticated by somebody else, because there's video of you catching the freaking ball.
Sure. But who's to say I don't go and buy another baseball, switch it out, and I still have the ball?
Because
I sold you a Fugazi.
So that's the thing, though. Because it's not MLB authenticated right then and there. That's the
advantage.
Yeah,
that's the advantage.
Like the guy who caught Kirk Gibson's ball. Whatever happened to that?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
One of the great stories that never should.
But it was a different time. People weren't collecting like that.
Right.
Everything, anything Otani related is.
You know what I really want to know?
Yeah,
it's funny about the Gibson thing that you mentioned. I want to know who is in that car going up the hill with the brake lights flashed right when the ball gets struck.
Everybody who says that they were at the stadium.
I know, but it literally is somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you had to know I was about in that spot, because there's two cars, but there's one that's perfectly visible between the pavilion roof and the people. And the second, it's brake lights.
But like, they've beat traffic.
they did.
It's the World Series. I am the king of leave early, not the World Series.
I would have been in that car.
Yeah,
not the World Series.
Okay, you would not leave a Nick Van Exel game, but you leave the World Series.
I would not. If it's a game, if it's an actual World Series, no, I'm not going anywhere. But regular season, I'm leaving.
Okay, World
Regular season,
Series
I'm
or
leaving.
Lakers preseason with Sedale 3? Exactly.
I'm staying for the World Series.
But no, the Dodgers completely wrong.
The game was close. You can't leave the like if it's 9-1 in the 8th inning, see you later.
Oh yeah, when the Astros were here, I was gone.
Yeah, once Darvish was done burning the stadium to the ground,
it was done.
Speaking of, Bobby Miller burned Wrigley Field to the ground.
I just looked at the score. It's 5-2.
5-2, top of the 3rd inning. Bobby Miller did not have his best.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday in your hometown. In your hometown.
Hey, did you go to school with Danny McBride?
I did. Well, I didn't go to school with him. No, he is an alumni of my high school.
So is your statue next to his?
Yeah, of course.
The Righteous Gemstones, so good.
I love that show.
Okay, he's Jesse, right? Jesse Gemstone.
I think that's his name.
I think that, or is he Kenny Powers?
He's
Kenny Powers.
Kenny Powers.
He's Kenny Powers.
100% he's Kenny Powers.
He's Kenny Powers. I'm trying to watch it. It's terrible, but it's I just want a jet ski though. Because the Mexico baseball experience ruined it for me. For the Kenny Powers, he's found it down. But when I take you to Tijuana, maybe at the end of this month, we're going to be there.
All right.
We're going to be there. But
we're doing it on Friday.
We could even do it on Sunday.
Here's the problem.
Bring Michael with us.
I want to have a good time.
Oh, we will have
And
a
if
good
we got
time.
a Sunday, I got to be back here on a Monday.
No, just take Monday off.
I don't know if I'm doing that.
Come on.
We'll see.
The Dodgers were wrong with those fans.
Yes.
But now you got to know how to negotiate.
And you can just blame anything that goes wrong
on
lost in translation.
Yep. That's the new thing.
Yeah,
it's the new thing.
Hey, what happened there? What do you mean?
Yep.
I think you lied to me. Nah, lost in translation.
No.
I'm waiting.
Spico,
I'm
no
waiting.
Spico.
I'm waiting for Freddie Freeman to use that too. It's like Freddie, the hell are you talking about?
I grew up in Fountain Valley. There's some peculiarities of language that we don't quite share.
Lingo.
Yeah, you guys
Which
speak
is
in
true.
a different language.
Compared to Tustin and Fountain Valley, different world.
A little bit. So who gets veto rights on a potential trade? That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
But, like, they've beat traffic.
Sedano and Cap for your afternoon drive.
The black and gold are back at home for a battle at BMO.
Absolutely electric to live and die in Los Angeles.
But it's not just any battle. It's a battle for Los Angeles.
It's the game in MLS. It's always the game in Major League Soccer when these two teams meet.
The fiercest rivalry in MLS. LAFC and Galaxy face off in downtown LA.
We expect nothing less than 90-plus minutes of amazing football.
Coverage begins Saturday at 4 p.m. on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
and Sliwa.
On 710 ESPN.
This happens every year where you'll see an early season Cubs game on TV when the ivy on the wall hasn't
It's not
grown
green.
in yet.
Yeah.
It's just all the vines without the leaves on it. It just looks decrepit. It looks like a Scooby-Doo episode where they're running through a decrepit amusement park. And if it weren't for you meddling kids, I would have been able to steal Wrigley Field for myself.
It's always the person you least suspect. It's always, or no, the person you medium suspect, not the most suspected person. And it's usually some sort of janitor that was wronged at some point.
Yes, he was.
By the way, it looks different, too, when you see somebody hit the wall.
Yeah.
Not that the green ivy is going to stop anything, but at least it appears as
It's a
if
brick
it's
wall.
not that bad. It's just a straight-up brick wall.
It's a brick wall. Yeah, it's. We were talking about Wrigley Field during the break. It's okay. It's okay.
It's fine.
It's
Well,
okay.
you know
I
what?
gotta go. I gotta
It's
go.
okay.
If you're in your 20s, amazing.
It's
Travis's
old,
age, you're like,
and
nah.
no, I went in my 20s. And
Amazing.
it's okay.
Did you watch the game?
Yes.
That's the problem.
I understand.
You weren't
what
yelling,
you-
right field sucks. Right field sucks.
I think Beto's experience was different.
That was fun.
I've had the Beto experience, and I've had a more tame experience.
Yeah, I've had the Beto and the Jose experience.
It's old and small
It is.
and cramped and smelly.
It is.
So, but none of it was like,
It's cool.
hey, this is cool. This is the history,
The big
all that.
scoreboard is cool. The outfit, the ivy covered walls
Baseball.
are cool.
Yeah.
Baseball. Then you're like, hey, this place kind of sucks. It's hard to get into the bathroom. It's hard to get it. It's just the only thing they do there.
Oh,
that's
who hit a
another
ball?
one? My goodness.
Who is that?
This is where you should be able to call it a day. Just say, you know what, we're going to go home. We'll see
Michael
all tomorrow.
Not with their offense.
Oh,
That's
this
a
is
good point.
Not with their offense.
This is when they're at UC Santa Barbara. Get up, Travis.
This is about my time. So we're down 4 in the third. The Cubs are going to need to get maybe 2 more. Yeah, 8-2 is okay. This one's over. 6, like you said, Al.
8-2 and
the way
7.
the way that the Dodgers could swing the bats, a 4-run deficit is
that's not
game over. But
Were they down? Was
getting
it
close.
earlier? It was 4-0 to St. Louis.
St. Louis, and they ended up winning the game.
See, this is the
5-4.
part where like relievers, they usually don't go to the bullpen to the 3rd, 4th inning, right?
Yeah.
This is the one where they're waking them up from their nap. Like, hey man,
We're gonna
somebody's
need you.
got to get down there.
They're going to the special coffee pot too.
They're on the second brew right now. Like Mark Grace had the best line. The hardest thing about playing in Chicago isn't a night game. It's the day game after a day game.
Yeah. You got all day.
All day.
They're
going to
be done at 4:00 in the afternoon. Yeah. They have. It's almost.
You had happy
it's
hour
almost a
on a
9 to
Friday?
5 job in
Yeah.
Chicago.
Friday.
It's the day-night
day.
blackout. You can
Okay,
have
you
that.
said the stadium you weren't crazy about.
Yeah.
Outside the stadium, how's
Fun.
that?
Wrigleyville is awesome.
Oh,
And
yes.
it's not like it's the Oakland Coliseum where it's just a straight up trash hole. It's not that. It's just. It's more. Oh, there's the scoreboard. Oh, there are all the pennants. Oh, okay, cool. Hey, this place kind of sucks.
Yeah.
It's
I still got
it's
it. Okay,
that.
okay. Somebody who's never been.
Oh, you got to. Yeah.
You got to go
for sure.
and then it's got to be a day game in the summer because it's cold
Like
the
in
rest
July.
of the time.
The only
Or
so
June, like late June.
Yeah.
I think this is a California thing. I think I mentioned this before. What Chicago and Yankee Stadium, Fenway Park haven't figured out is they got a guy walking up and down the aisles, beer here.
Yep.
Like you got to get up off your butt to go get one at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
they
gotta-
don't do that, Dodgers?
Mm-mm.
I don't drink at Dodger games. It's just too expensive.
Why? You know, $22 for a Modelo?
And 28 for the michelada or whatever it
I
is.
know.
Yeah,
She
nah.
should have traded the ball in for like 3 drinks.
3 Micheladas.
No, that's a little too much for that ball. Two drinks max.
The security guys, yeah.
I will say,
intimidating her. It's
hey,
like 2 at the most.
For a ballpark Michelada, it's not bad. It's actually pretty good.
Nah.
Yeah, it's not bad. You know who does a good one? I've said this before too. Disneyland.
Oh yeah, dude, at California Adventure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
California
That's a good
Adventure,
one.
they got their.
Right by that swing
Prepare
thing
there.
that goes around. they make them, I think, with Pacifico. I think is what they have there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good stuff right there.
It's not the end of the world. So Stephon Diggs is in Houston, and they made the trade with the Buffalo Bills, and their general manager, Brandon Beane, said the following. These moves are never easy. They're very hard. It's not made overnight. Anytime you make a move like this, as I said, very difficult. You're doing it. You're trying to win. Sometimes people not see this. This is by no means the Bills giving up or trying to take a step back or win or anything like that. Everything we do, we're trying to win. We're trying to continue to do that. He was asked if they were better. Are we better today? Probably not. It's a work in progress. We're going to continue to work on that. He then went on to say he had not talked to Josh Allen since the move. He's on the West Coast, so he probably woke up. Whatever that move went down, he might have been asleep. I'll circle back with him. Okay. Do you got to run it by Josh Allen? Because you got to probably give him a heads up that it's coming, but I don't know if he gets like final veto power on something. Hey, we're moving Stephon Diggs for a second-round pick to the Houston Texans. What do you think? I don't think he got that kind of juice.
I don't think you're... I don't know what I think about your franchise if you're hesitating to make a move based on a certain player's opinion. Now, there's caliber, right? If you want to take if Tom Brady back in his day, I'm talking to Tom Brady. I'm talking to Patrick Mahomes.
Talking to or getting their approval? Because there's a difference between those, I think.
I think, well, there is a difference, but I'm talking to them. If they want to tell me why they think it's a good move or it's not, I'm listening to them as well. But if I ultimately feel this is the right move for the organization, I'm not going to allow a player to say you cannot do that.
What if Patrick Mahomes says, I hate that deal? That deal sucks. I hate it.
Yeah. Josh Allen, I don't really care. Like I may listen to him. Patrick Mahomes, we're having another meeting now. We're having another now we're sitting down, we're having a more serious conversation because the last thing I need is the best player in the world in the NFL to be upset at the general manager because of a move that I made.
But Josh Allen is your star, and it is
but
very,
there's
very hard to find a very good quarterback.
The amount of people that I think get that power and that say, I don't think Josh Allen is in that class. I don't
either. I don't think he's in it, but I think that he's...
I have a chat with him. I'm okay with that.
I'm not sure if there's anybody in the NFL not named Patrick Mahomes that could just flat out kill a deal.
Sure.
He's probably the only one.
But I think that, okay, here's the scenario. I know this isn't what happened, but what'd you say?
I said Burrow.
I don't think so.
What happened with this is not what happened. Josh Allen, I don't think, had the great relationship with Stephon Diggs, but here's what happens. They say, hey, I think we're going to trade Stephon Diggs. He freaks out. He says, absolutely not. This is the worst deal ever. Threatens everything. You would have to change your mind about that. He doesn't have to say, oh, yeah, of course, go do that. But I think that if he really, really loved Diggs, could not do it without Diggs, I think they would have.
But I think with Allen and Diggs in this specific sense, if his deal was, you trade that's our best guy. What do you mean you trade him away? That's a terrible idea. You could say to him, it's not, all right, let me go back and readdress it. It's, Josh, I know you don't like it. You're going to have to trust me on this one. Yep. We're going to be a better football team down the road.
Here's why.
Here's why.
Reasons.
And we're doing this. I need you to get on board with this because it's coming. We're doing this. I think he's in that category. I don't think anybody else, I don't
if
even think
Mahomes says, hey, I want to change the way the parking lot is, it's like we're probably going to change the parking lot.
All of it. And I don't know how many of those guys are there. There's him, and I'm not even talking the NFL.
It's not Lamar Jackson because he tried to do that, and then he got shopped around and then didn't have it.
Go outside the NFL.
Yeah.
Does Steph Curry have that power?
Yeah.
Maybe. Probably.
It feels like LeBron kind of
LeBron
has.
did for a super long time. Does he still?
Today, probably still has that power.
That's a terrible deal. Okay, we're going to change our mind. We're not going to do it.
I think, and they've said this a lot, where they always talk to LeBron, they talk to Anthony Davis. I think there's definitely influence. You see what I'm saying? That for those two players, I believe.
But you have to go through. They want to do it. Mm-hmm. LeBron hates it. Do they decide not to do it, even though they really think it's the right thing to do? Like that's the puzzle. I think they do it for Patrick Mahomes. I think you do it for Steph Curry. Giannis, maybe,
Giannis, they've already done it.
Giannis,
Luka, they changed the coach.
Right? There's not many guys. Yeah. But I think the other one may be, look, I know you hate this, and you're going to see. You're going to see. That list is not long. Josh Allen's not on the list is not disrespectful to Josh Allen. Not a chance.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
Just because of his stage of his career.
If Sean McVay and Les Snead want to do it, they're doing it. Mm-hmm. That is Matthew Stafford's their best player. But the backbone of that team runs through those other two guys. Hot and cold coming up next is Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Steve
A new partner here at 710 ESPN, NextGen. NextGen, the official AC, heat, and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans.
You're as cold as ice.
Call 833-3-NEXTGEN, NEXGEN, or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com. Time for our feature we do 3 days a week at 12:30 p.m. Who's hot? Who's cold? Thanks to NextGen. Boy, time for Who's Hot? Who's Cold? Take it away, Producer M.
All right, who's hot is Dawn Staley in the South Carolina Gamecocks. They're coming up, and their game is about 3.5 hours away on ESPN. And in Cleveland, which Caitlyn Clark just loves Cleveland so much.
Loves it. They got good
she can
tacos
spend
there.
hours
The
in
best tacos.
hours in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Such an insane take to me.
Well, her truth is her truth. So Dawn Staley was opening up her press conference. And she was going to start the press conference with a little debate that they were having with her and her coaching staff. So I'm going to play this for you right now.
I have a brief question, because you guys are writers, right? I just posted a tweet, and we had a long discussion in our coaches meeting. So our players were in the locker room, lying or laying down. Lying? You sure? So I told our coaches, someone taught me you lie to get laid, right? Sorry. So excited to be here.
All right. So if you didn't love Dawn Staley already, you'll love her after that. She's seems like a great person, is a great coach, but love her. So the hot and cold debate, is it lying or laying down?
I have no idea. Like I've heard it both. I don't know which one's the right one. I'm going to go lie down. He was laying down.
Yeah, because honestly, either one feels like it works.
Right.
You know, it's such a weird thing. I guess her explanation, is a fine one.
I was lying down when the roof caved in on me.
Yeah.
Hey, I was laying down to avoid it. They both sound right.
Right, exactly. Beto, what do you think? Lying or laying down?
I went to junior college. Skip me.
But what do you say?
I took ESL courses.
Lying down?
What is it in Spanish?
English second language.
Well, somebody explained it to her, right? And said, just go to the American AP style book. What is it?
Yeah,
Junior college.
You went to Virginia, girl. Let's go.
I don't know.
You have a real degree.
She went to Virginia, too. She's a who?
Well, she played basketball.
All three of you guys have real degrees.
No,
By the way,
I'm still matriculating.
They're probably talked about the least, South Carolina, of these teams.
They're undefeated.
36-0. I didn't even know they were 36-0.
If you say so.
36-0. That
sure.
means
they're undefeated. They had that great win in the SEC championship game.
Yep. That means Caitlyn Clark would have to go through LSU, the defending champs, UConn, the
perennial
bluest of the
powerhouse,
blue buds,
and then a 36-0 team.
So it's lying down. It says lay means to place something down flat, while lie means to be in a flat position on a surface.
Okay, so to lay down would be I lay my phone down.
Correct.
But
Right.
I lie down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lay is
There we go.
transitive and requires an object to act upon. Lie is intransitive, describing something moving on its own or already in position.
Somebody
like Dawn's
tweet
explanation.
Dawn Staley.
By the way,
Exactly.
South Carolina, they got Tahina Powell, Samoan from Oceanside. That girl is a
Baller. Yeah.
Baller. Great family, too, man. Watch her.
All right, so what's cold is cold because I'm not on this list, but it's the Forbes put out their celebrity billionaires list. Okay, so they put out all these billionaires, but specifically, I'm doing a list of celebrity billionaires. Okay, so clarifying this by it's someone who has made their money through media or through like movies, media that way, like acting or producing or directing, and then athletes and musicians. Okay, so this is primarily those are the categories that are going. Also, I'm counting reality stars.
So no tech people.
No tech people. So it's
no
basically
Oracle,
Hollywood, quote unquote.
Yeah. All right.
Steve Ballmer.
All right, so I'm going to see if you guys can know the top 14 celebrity billionaires. See if we can get all of them, all right? All right,
Sure.
so Al,
Billionaires?
why don't you start us off? Yeah, billionaires. Most wealthy
all right,
billionaires.
athletes. Jordan.
Jordan is on there. He's actually number 3. He's at $3.2 billion as from Forbes. Okay, so Michael Jordan is on there.
LeBron.
Right. LeBron is also on there.
What's his
So
worth?
LeBron is he's tied for 10th at $1.2 billion. on this celebrity billionaires list? Travis?
Messi.
Nah.
Messi is not on this list.
He's got tax
unfortunately,
issues.
So
How's Messi not on that list?
Because LeBron's invested in a lot of other stuff.
Awesome.
you have to own other things. All right,
Yeah.
Jorge, what's yours?
He took Messi. You said athletes, right? It can't be like
everything.
So let me just clarify.
Celebrities.
Celebrity?
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Dre, billionaire.
It is not there. Dre is not on the list. So 2 are
Wrong
out.
list.
Al, what do you think?
Stay in the NBA. Magic.
Magic Johnson is there. Magic Johnson's on the list.
I like
All right,
the
Beto.
delay. Oof.
Yeah,
Oprah.
I was waiting for the buzzer.
Oprah's a good one.
Oprah is on the list.
She owns Montecito. That's a billionaire.
Right.
All right, back to Al.
Let's go Cristiano Ronaldo.
Nah.
Didn't he just
It's
get?
not on
Beto
the list.
wins.
Yeah, Beto wins.
Oh, why?
Because you were the last man
You're the last
standing.
man.
Oh,
Last
okay.
man standing.
Yes. I love this game.
All right.
Do I win the month of May? No.
Jay-Z's, I got to be on there.
So here's the full list.
Jay-Z.
So surprisingly, number 1 overall is a producer who owns a very expensive franchise, which is George Lucas. So George Lucas is number 1 at $5.5 billion. Steven Spielberg is number 2 at $4.8 billion. And then it's Jay-Z at did we say Jay-Z?
No, I just did.
Jay-Z at $2.5 billion. Kim Kardashian, $1.7 billion.
Oh, yeah, Kim.
Peter Jackson, $1.5 billion. Rihanna and Tyler Perry are tied for $1.4 billion.
Tyler Perry?
Yeah. And he
Those
owns,
Medea movies pay.
Wow.
They are cheap.
Just made
Get
another
people
one.
in seats. And he owns almost every aspect of production too. So
Yeah.
he owns everything in that.
He has this huge studio in
He basically built
Georgia.
a city in
Yeah.
Georgia. Then there's Tiger Woods, $1.3 billion,
Oh, yeah.
and then Dick Wolf, $1.2 billion.
Law and Order.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
yeah.
Law and Order money.
Very cheap. And then rounding it
Tyler
out, Taylor
Perry.
Swift, $1.1 billion.
There you go.
Yeah, so that's cold. Is that we are all not on this list? That's
We are
what's
not
cold.
on that list.
No, just marry one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
See, Bomber was now like 121. Every time I see that number,
These are pennies to them.
Every time I see a number, it was like at one point it was like 90.
Well, think about it. What'd you say the number was, Al?
121.
121?
121 billion.
Okay, so there's probably
Top
a
10 top 10 in
121
the world.
point something. The point something is hundreds of millions. So it's 121.8. That 0.8 is 800 million. That's the 0.8.
I was happy I went
That's
300.
my favorite
It's like in
thing.
Succession when they were like they're arguing over the numbers of billion, and then Roman has to be like, this is $1 billion we're talking
Yeah,
about,"
right.
when they're saying, "Oh, congrats for saying the big number."
You said the biggest number.
Yeah, that's
Congratulations on saying the biggest
Oh,
number.
Vesia's in. Woo.
Hot and Cold's brought
I'm
to you
outta here.
by
Vesia's
Next Gen, the official
brother.
heat and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans. Call 833-3-NEXT Gen. That's 833-3-NEXGEN or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com. The Dump's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Dump.
So how far out is when you're like, probably not going to happen? Dodgers down 4 in the top of the 5th inning. That's still a game, right? With the way
for
the
them,
ticket
it's
score
still
runs?
a game.
Yeah,
for them, it's still a game. They'll chip into it.
Think
They
I
had a
put
chance.
those-
That play, they had 2 on. I think Lux hit one to the short, or no, to second. Just a really good play. They almost scored 2 runs right there.
The Josh Bentram, who, of course, is a pal of ours and Craft Smoke and Fire downstairs here at LA Live, just said, you had to go say how good Bobby Miller was, didn't you? I kind of whammied him a little bit. The gods are like, you don't think he's okay, bang. There you go. First, not only his first runs of the year, but he got
Shelled.
clobbered. There's another hit from Mookie.
Yet again, happy birthday, Bobby Miller.
Yeah, in front of your hometown where you get chased out in the second
Speaking
inning.
of smoking fire, he texted me that he's got a new Saca la Bolsita.
Oh, yeah?
He's got a dark beer, a new dark beer. So he's like, whenever you guys are ready, let me know. That's what I said. I was like, well, okay, I'll take you on it.
Okay, yeah, minute next week.
Yeah,
let's do that. That's a next week for sure. Mookie Betts is now the favorite for the National League Most Valuable Player Award. That, according to odds makers. Well, sure, he leads the league in everything. That seems like a pretty good jump-off point to
pretty good start,
be
AK.
the MVP. But our MVP odds in April seem a little premature.
That's it. Well, what happens in kind of similar to the NBA? You're like a weekend. And they're like, well, right now, here's what he did. Took on Philly, the Wizards. It's like, yeah, well, let's wait. Can we
Nick
wait a
Young
month?
is MVP.
Let's see here. Oh, foul ball.
Can we wait a month before we start with that?
Did that go out? Otani
I
just hit
think
his second
so.
home run of the season.
He
There you
yacked
go.
that.
Oh, wow.
Now it's 6-4.
First one at Wrigley.
Yeah, 80
What's that
grand.
ball worth?
Where are the Cubs security people? That's his first road home run as a Dodger. Right?
No,
So-
Dodger security is there, too.
That was
They're coming
fair.
out. That looked,
It feels like that's going to get reviewed at some point. That looked like not only was it foul, but well foul.
I could
didn't
not
see
even
it.
tell.
I couldn't see the ball.
I couldn't even see
Yeah.
it.
I honestly couldn't tell 100% that he hit the ball.
Well, he's Dennis doing a little bit of the cry. I guess
No, it's a
not.
homer.
We're getting ready to throw another pitch. All right, so 6-4.
This was so
in that
casual
one.
after he hated that, as if it was nothing.
Well, again, so the home run he hit at Dodger Stadium the other night, the one that created all this mess, was 430 feet, and it didn't seem like he got all of it. This one looked like he almost swung and missed, and it was gone. If he gets locked in, if all of a sudden that home run that he hit the other night kind of unlocks whatever stuff
That will
he had
happen.
going on in
Yeah,
his
that-
swing,
That's going to happen either way.
forget it. Forget it. That's
He's
got
already
to be
pointing
such
at the ball. He's saying, I want that ball.
I'll
Yeah,
give
he
you
did.
3 autographed hats.
He was pointing to security, telling them where to go.
Yeah, did you see the one there?
Get
Get
him in
her,
the
get
back
her.
room. Separate her from her friends.
Swinging lights going back and forth.
She's 9. Separate her.
Right. That means we can really bully her.
Old enough to know.
That'd be
wristband.
awesome. And that 9-year-old is just the harshest negotiator.
Speaking of Dodger records, it was today in 1989 that Oral Hershiser's consecutive scoreless inning streak came to an end at 59 innings, which is still I believe it's the major league record for most consecutive scoreless innings.
You know how we talk about some records, just it ain't happening. That's not going to get touched. This is not going to get touched. Wilt's this, that. Where is that on that ranking, you think?
It's way up there. But here's the thing. I think there's not that there is a distinction, but there should be a distinction. What Oral Hershiser did 59 innings in a row, he did as a starting pitcher, which means he threw, and this was back in the day when you would go 9 innings. That was just kind of the assignment as a starting pitcher. So he basically threw 6, well, what's 6, 9? Yeah, he threw 6 shutouts in a row, basically, almost 7. So 7 consecutive shutouts nearly is crazy. Now, what could
Today,
happen?
that's like 10 or 11 starts, right? Like you're talking about. It's got to be over that time.
Yes, that it could be that. But what I'm talking is, let's say, who's the best? Let's say there's the next coming of Mariano Rivera.
Okay.
And he just goes out there 59 games in a row and doesn't give up a run. Like, that seems more conceivable to me than pitching 6.5 shutouts in a row.
Like,
That's the part that's so stupid.
If I'm remembering right, didn't Gagne have something going like that for a while when he was with the Dodgers?
So Greinke, I think Zach Greinke had 40-plus innings.
Yeah. So you only got to do it another 3 times to get there. That's what's so stupid about those consecutive streaks, the hitting streaks, consecutive scoreless inning streaks. Those are pretty crazy. Michael Cooper elected to the Basketball Hall of Fame. We've talked about this. My favorite era of Laker basketball is the Showtime era of Laker basketball. My favorite player was Magic Johnson. And when you think about it, you think about Magic and Kareem and Worthy. And then there's that second tier of guys that was Byron Scott and Michael Cooper. Like Michael Cooper was on the floor in virtually all of those big moments for the Lakers for that entire thing.
Yep.
But Coop was such an important part of what they did. I'm glad that there's a path for, and I don't mean this disrespectfully at all, but for a role player to wind up in a Hall of Fame capacity, because that typically doesn't happen.
Well, he's also too like he's an elite specialist.
Yes.
Who was one of the absolute best of his era. Like he played starters minutes. They don't win those games without him. Like I looked up some of his numbers because we talked about this for today's Locked On Lakers. It's Travis. It's a podcast. It's available 5 days a week.
Where?
Anywhere you get your
anywhere. How much does it cost?
Nothing, because it's
nothing
never behind a paywall.
Never.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy?
Huh?
If you wanted to watch the
How
show,
would I do that?
There's a YouTube component.
There is.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do they do other sports?
Someone I heard hosts a Rams podcast with the exact
It's
same
funny
format.
you mentioned that. I happen to host a Rams podcast under the exact same parameters.
I feel like we might
never
be part
behind
of the same network.
Never behind a paywall. Free and available wherever you get your pay
Did
cut.
you guys just meet?
We just learned this about each other.
We become best friends.
But like, I was looking up some of his numbers for like Defensive Player of the Year voting. He had, I think, 6 seasons in the top 5. He had 8 all defense teams. 5 were first. He came twice in the top 5.
I think he's the only Laker to win Defensive Player of the Year award.
He came twice. He was 6th Man of the Year, top 5 voting. Like he did an awful lot.
You know what else he was kind of ahead of the curve? It seems so weird because the game's just so different now. He was kind of a 3-point specialist too. Like, and he would take 3 or 4 games.
Two seasons where he was top 10 in the league for 3-pointers made and 3-point field goal percentage. He's like, his best seasons were like 38% from behind the arc, and he's a lifer with the Lakers.
Yeah.
And now that this is happening, numbers going up in the rafters, and that's something fans have wanted for a long time.
I went to do a TV hit one night for ABC, and it was their Saturday Slam Dunk Night. I forget what that show's called. But so I went on as a guest, and Michael Cooper was on the panel with Rob Fukuzaki, and I'm walking onto the panel like I didn't start the show. I'm walking in like the middle of the segment, and Michael Cooper says to me, he goes, "We used to destroy the Apaches." And I'm like, what? And he goes, "I know you went to Arcadia High School. We used to destroy," because he went to PHS, Pasadena High School. I'm like, "How do you know that?" He goes, "I like to do my research before anybody comes in here."
He's hilarious,
He's
by the way.
really
Cooper's
funny.
really funny.
It was great. It's a great moment for
Well,
him.
to stay on that for a second, John and Michael have been screaming for this for a long, long time. I mean, it's funny. A couple days ago, I think it was on Monday, where you knew Chauncey Billups and Vince Carter were getting in, and I mentioned it to Michael in the pregame show. He's like, "I don't care. When's Coop getting in?"
Now.
John, I know you've been screaming this for a long time. So,
well, he was the best player on 9 finals teams. Best defensive player on 9 finals teams. I mean, if you don't value defense at all, then keep him out. But I don't know how many of those 5 titles the Lakers win without him. And if you talk, it's not just Michael. If you talk to Worthy, if you talk to Magic, if you talk to anybody.
Talk to Larry Bird.
Yeah.
Bird says he was the best defender he ever went up against.
You talk to any of the Showtime Lakers, or frankly anybody who worked there when those guys were all playing, and they'll tell you that without Cooper, they probably don't win half those titles.
I was telling them, John, that
Bird wasn't good.
When I think of the Showtime Lakers are my favorite version of the Lakers, and I don't remember a big moment in the 80s where he wasn't directly involved in it. Like, he was on the court every time. He was defending Larry Bird or whatever it is. That Magic, Kareem, Worthy, Byron, and Coop. Those are the 5 guys that went in. And there are obviously lots of others as well that were a part of it, but he was one of the main core of those guys for that entire run.
All right, so I heard a story once that this is the opposite of what we're talking about. Michael Cooper was an absolutely elite defensive player, and like Slee said, I've been beating the drum for him to get into the Hall of Fame for 10 years. So I'm glad that it finally happened. But here's an amazing story. So Kobe Bryant comes in. Andy, you probably heard this. Kobe Bryant comes in for a workout when he's like in high school. And Jerry West says, I've been hearing so much about this kid and how he can light anybody up. And at this point, Cooper's been retired for 5 or 6 years. And so he says to Coop, "Hey, I got a kind of cocky 18-year-old kid coming in here. I need you to rough him up a little bit. You mind, help me out with a workout?" And John Black's in the workout. So John's the one who told me the story. And Mitch Kupchak's there and Jerry West is there. And Coop comes out. And Kobe's in workout shorts, Coop's in workout. He says, "Okay, play some one-on-one." And Kobe dribbles right and scores. Dribbles left, scores. Straightforward shot, scores. And Jerry West goes over to Cooper, goes, okay, now, rough him up. He goes, Jerry, I've been trying. I can't catch him. And he goes, what do you mean you can't catch him? He goes, this kid can shake. He goes, he goes, you want me to foul him? He goes, yeah. Coop said he had trouble fouling him, because he couldn't physically catch him. And Jerry West goes, after about 20 minutes, goes, all right, this workout's over. And that's when he called Arntellum, Kobe's agent at the time, and said, all right, we've got to start making plans to get him here. And he arranged the whole trade for Vlade and everything. Matter of fact, John Calipari knew how good Kobe was, and he was the new coach of the Nets.
Yeah.
And so the Nets had the 9th pick, and I think the Hornets had the 13th pick, Andy. Does that sound right?
Is this the Kerry Kittles?
Yeah,
they took Kerry Kittles.
So, here's why. Calipari says, no, we're taking Kobe Bryant. I can tell this guy's, and there was the owner of the Nets, I don't know who it was at the time, but says, well, you sure you want to make your first pick a high school kid, who's not going to play right away? He goes, you don't understand. This kid is unbelievable. We're taking him. And all the people in the Nets go, we need somebody who can play right away. And this kid's 3 years away from playing. John, you're going to get fired if you take this kid and he doesn't play right away. And Calipari says, I don't care, we're taking him. And the owner called and said,
you're not taking him?
You can't do it. You can't take him because we need somebody who can sell tickets now. We need somebody who can play right now. And Calipari finally relented because he had not coached a game yet as the coach of the Nets. And they took Kerry Kittles. And Arntellum had told every team before Charlotte, don't take him or he's going to go to Duke. Back then, you didn't have to declare and everything. And
or to Italy or wherever.
Right. And all the other teams said, well, we can't afford to take a kid who then is going to leave.
We have to go somewhere else.
And that's how Kobe ended up on the Lakers.
Obviously, Jerry West saw something in Kobe right away, and there's foresight and all that stuff, but it also lets you know how important timing is, because this was at a time when high schoolers going straight to the NBA were still pretty rare.
Yeah.
A guard was unheard of.
Yeah.
So the idea that some of these teams would be gun-shy makes more sense then. If this had happened
That's a good point.
If this happened 2-3 years later, you're not going to be able to work those threats.
Right.
Or you're not going to have those same fears.
Well, and now it's a little harder because you either have to declare for the draft or you don't.
So put a pin in that, because the Bronny James news seems like he's having it both ways.
He is.
So
and here's how he's doing
I want to know how he does it, but let's do a little super crosstalk, Jorge. A little super crosstalk is what I say. There we go.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super
All right, so earlier today, it was reported that LeBron James Jr., Bronny James, is going to enter the transfer portal, declare for the NBA draft, but maintain his college eligibility. How do you do all the three of those things at the same time?
You don't hire an agent.
Okay.
And if you do, that's the one loophole they built in. So to Andy's point, now it's harder to make those threats because they made a rule. The owners always look out for the owners. So they made a rule after Kobe and after a couple other guys that, okay, we need to know if these players are in or out. We don't want them to be able to lord over us. No, I'm going back to school.
Mm-hmm.
And so they made that rule. The one exception they made that the players union apparently negotiated was if they don't have an agent, they can still stay in the transfer portal. But here's one thing you got to look out for. Eric Musselman, who got named the head coach at USC yesterday, could sell ice to an Eskimo.
I know.
That dude
I know he can.
is really, like, we'll get him on eventually. You know, Michael played for his dad at the
Yeah,
University
Bill.
of Minnesota.
Yeah.
And But Eric is super smart. I would not be shocked if right now they're working on maybe a $3 to $5 million NIL deal for Bronny to come back to play at USC next year.
What is the most likely, and we're speculating here,
Yeah.
that is he playing college basketball next year or is he in the NBA? And we don't even have to talk about which particular team, but is he playing the college game or the pro game a year from now?
I think both options are available to him. He would not be like an NBA, I don't think, would be an NBA impact player right out of the gate. I think he'd be a two-way player, maybe a G League player, and then he would work his way up. I think he's still only 19. But he's a freakish athlete, and he's really good. And what LeBron has done from the beginning has saying, hey, everybody slow their roll. Let this kid be a kid and let him make his own decisions.
You mean after he let everyone know that he wanted to play with his son and was talking about all that, slow your roll?
The reason I'm bringing it up is I think that it's a real possibility he could go back to USC next year.
Yeah. If he's smart, he will go back to USC.
I agree with you on
And
that.
maybe
go somewhere else.
Or go to Oregon.
Just play college and give yourself a couple years to
He's
see
not,
if you're an
by
NBA
any
player or
accounts,
not.
He's not ready for the NBA. There's no reason for him to rush himself to the NBA.
Unless, unless, I mean, honestly,
obviously, money's not an issue here. But
no, it's not.
It's
unless he wants to play with his
unless
dad.
is unless LeBron Sr. really wants to play for him, and there's an opportunity where a team says, "Look, we got the 12th spot on our team, the 15th spot on our team, whatever it is, a two-way deal.
We'll
we
bring
can
you
make
in.
it." There, you guys will play together, even if you're not on the court a ton together, but we can make this happen because the legacy of it all, I think, is incredibly important to him, and that is something that no one else is going to have on their resume. There's some stuff here that adds up.
I'm going to be honest.
And he said he's wanted to play with him.
Multiple times.
It's a bad look for LeBron if he does that. It's a really bad look.
Why?
Because you are basically announcing your son as the most Nepo of Nepo babies, where you are strong.
Team's not going to care.
No, but it's bad for Bronny. Like, he's going to be coming into a league where people already think to some degree he's only in the place that he's in because of who his dad is. Sports is supposed to be about as pure a meritocracy as exists. And you're basically strong-arming a team, coaxing a team to bring in your son who's not ready so you can play with your son in a way that actually is more about you than him.
But and
it's a terrible look for LeBron.
Okay, but here's what I don't understand about that whole take. If you can do it, why not do it?
Because it's a bad look for him. It looks bad
but
for
why
Bron.
does he care?
I'm kind of with Ireland on this one, that I don't think he really cares what Andy or Travis or Alan or Ireland
he
thinks.
Should care, because if you're doing this for your legacy, you care what people think. That's the only reason you do things for
Andy,
your
in all
legacy.
fairness, isn't his legacy locked in stone?
No, but this was brought up as something that would be on his
Well,
legacy.
so the locked in stone thing I think is really interesting. The championships, the MVPs, the points,
Eight straight trips to the finals.
the 8 straight trips to the finals, all of that stuff.
All-time leading scorer.
We're chipping it into the stone
Top five
tablet,
in
right?
assists. Right.
The things that we're leaving. But if you're
Don't hire the guy who did Kobe's statue.
No,
'cause
we'll
then
get
you're
somebody
gonna be
else.
wrong.
We'll get somebody else. We'll have a spell checker on our
Right,
statue.
right.
But if you're putting together a resume that your attempt is to become the greatest player of all time and have it be unequivocal, right? That there's no more, it could be Wilt, it could be Jordan, could be Kareem. It's just, this is my guy. And you're not going to catch somebody in MVPs or titles, champion, or whatever. One of the things that is pretty hard to argue against or just dismiss easily is, I was so good for so long, I still hung around this league long enough for my kid to get into it.
Right.
That's an amazing accomplishment.
And Andy, I don't understand your bad look thing. Bad look to who?
To LeBron. Is what you're saying, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but
also
he's
it's
not
a bad
good putting
enough.
his needs ahead
But
of
it's
his
a bad
kids.
look for Bronny. You're basically announcing my kid is not good enough to be in the league unless I coax you to bring him in so I can be on your team.
Is there a
It's all about
scenario
you.
where he's in the league on a team that's not LeBron's?
Sure. Yeah.
Marketing.
If a team,
I mean, if he's good enough in a couple of years.
Well, no, I'm talking this draft cycle.
he goes to Charlotte. We were talking about this a little bit earlier. Charlotte basically just takes him for the attention.
That attention's going to go away. He's not going to play.
I don't disagree with you.
But what if it's that, what's the harm? We stink anyway.
I'm with Travis on this. I don't, Andy, understand, like, bad look. I guess I'm trying to think of guys at the end of their career that did things that you would think would ruin their legacy. Like, do you guys know?
I'm not saying it would ruin his legacy. I'm saying it's a bad look for him.
John, the bad look,
you're overshadowing your own son.
The bad look is, it doesn't seem like nobody's saying this guy's an NBA player today. Nobody is saying that. The bad look is he comes into the NBA and it has nothing to do with his skill set. It has to do with he's the son of LeBron James.
You're basically using your son to prop up either part of your own legacy or to add something onto your resume. You're using
if he was a
your
baller,
son
that's different. But nobody really feels that way.
Well, I don't think he would. I don't think Bronny would embarrass himself. I mean, he's a good enough athlete where he could be on the court, but
he can barely be on the court for USC.
Right, but I don't think there are a lot of people that just don't want to go to college, and if he's one of those people, I'm careful to say, hey, if you don't want to go to school, if you have no interest in going to class and you want to go into the G League or you want to play for G League Ignite, which I guess is going away, then more power to you. But eventually he's going to have to,
Sure.
But I don't think he would embarrass himself. He's a freak athlete.
But if you just accelerate the process of, look, get him in, and he'll either make it or will not make it based on his ability to play, right? That will sort itself out, and maybe it sorts itself out a little sooner than later if he's not quite ready for it. But that line at the end of the Wikipedia entry
but I'm talking,
is what he's after.
I'm not talking about Bronny ending up in the league. If, say, just a team decides, Allen's point, let's just bring him in because it could bring us some attention.
It's attention.
Right. That's one thing. I'm talking about where it's obvious Bronny's on this team because LeBron said, if you bring in my son, I will join your team. It's a bad look for LeBron in part because you are, I think, making your own needs bigger than that of your son. You're also basically conceding to everybody watching, my son's not qualified for this. The only reason he's on this team is because I made myself part of a package deal.
But Andy, do you know how many players you could say that about in the NBA?
Who?
I mean, every team's got 2 or 3 guys who'll be out of the league in 2 years.
Because their father got them on the team?
No, but for whatever reason they got on the team.
No, that's not comparable.
But is there a difference? What difference does it make?
Why?
Because those other teams took an earnest shot on those players. They thought those players could end up qualified.
But what if it's
okay? But I think
I
think the point you just made helps our side of the argument because think of it this way. I've said this is a John and Andy argument we've had for years. Andy values draft picks. I would trade all of them. I'm Les Snead. F them picks.
Okay. But you do
By
that.
the way, you're going to like
but-
this
but-
NFL draft thing because I don't think they're going to pick.
But John,
at
you
19.
do that because you're in Los Angeles.
Right.
If you're a Laker fan. If you were for the Oklahoma City Thunder, you would obviously, your approach would be different.
A place where you can't get free agents. Yeah, it would be
Yeah.
different. But my point to Andy's argument is half of the players in the draft aren't going to make it anyway. What difference does it make if you try this?
Because the difference is those other players that didn't make it in the league, you at least thought they might be good enough. In this case with Bron, you're saying
they were real
I
candidates.
don't think he's good enough, but LeBron is. That's the difference.
I guess my counter to you would be, it doesn't matter if we think they're good enough. Statistically, half of them aren't going to be good enough anyway.
Right.
But at least you're trying to give yourself an honest shot at
I guess
finding someone who is.
But how much worse is he than the other guy that's going to get picked 55th?
I think you're so underrating how good you have to be picked in the second round.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
No, seriously.
I agree with you.
If you are a second round pick in the NBA, you are really good because you know how many
No,
players
I don't disagree with that.
Having said that, pull up the second round of any draft and count the amount of
the
people.
30 guys get drafted, maybe 5
count the
make
amount
it.
of people who are going to make it. So what I'm saying is you can waste a second round pick.
But why take a guy that you know isn't good enough? That's
Because he's
silly.
LeBron's son. Which is why I think goes back to your point.
Isn't it the cost of doing business, though, if you want to keep LeBron?
No. Honestly, man, I'm not wasting a roster spot on a kid that I know isn't good enough. First of all, LeBron's not going to leave the Lakers over this. This is silly.
Al, can you tell me the name of the guy? Is it Castleton?
Yeah.
Colin Castleton.
So what's the difference of having him in the last spot in your team and having
Because
Bronny
you
James?
actually think Colin Castleton could turn into an NBA player.
But-
That's
but-
different.
Austin Reeves was a two-way player. Caruso.
But
Like
how
there,
many,
there
but
were
you're picking
guys
the
that
guys
were
that did
developed.
work. But there's many, many more that do not.
But again, you're missing the whole point of you're actually, in all those other cases, 100% of the other cases, you're picking somebody that you actually think could be an NBA
But
player.
okay,
James-
here's my counter to that.
Mm-hmm.
You can go ahead and say you actually think that this guy is going to turn into something. Statistically, factually, he's not.
But that's still a better odds than the guy that you're saying we know he's not an NBA player.
You know, but to Travis's point, if you have Colin Castleton or Bronny James, what difference does it make?
The difference is, hopefully, in a few years, the Castleton's actually an NBA player.
How do you know that Bronny won't be in a few years? He's
Because
19.
I'll tell you why. If Bronny stays in college,
in the process,
yeah.
If Bronny stays in
I'm with
college,
you, Trav.
like AK was saying, and all of a sudden next year the guy's averaging 15 points a game, and he feels like he's actually a good college player. That's the difference.
Here's a good comp, you guys. So, a couple years ago, the Lakers drafted Max Christie.
Right.
And he came out, he was super skinny. I had questions as to whether or not he's ever going to make it. He now jumps higher, runs faster, and plays better than I ever
But John,
imagined
the Lakers
he could.
didn't
That could
have
be
question-
Bronny.
But the Lakers didn't have questions
Sure
about
they did.
Christie. No, they clearly thought they bought a draft pick to get Christie.
Right.
So they
do you-
had no questions.
Are you
about it.
convinced Jalen Hood-Schifino is an NBA player?
No, but I'm convinced they were.
Right. So why, if
you used a first-round pick on Bronny James,
That's not a good
right
idea.
now,
I don't think anybody. I don't think we're talking about a first round.
No,
Is
but you
anybody
brought up
talking about a
Jalen
first round
but you
pick?
brought up
No, I
Jalen
think the only
Hood-Schifino.
thing is grabbing him undrafted. If it's an
I
undrafted
don't think
two-way
that's a
player,
no-brainer.
something like
I
that.
don't think that taking a late round, second round pick, or even a mid round, second round pick, and just saying if this will make LeBron happy, do it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Do it. And is he probably going to make it? Almost certainly no. Right? Is he that much worse of a pick than the guy that you might have taken otherwise? Maybe
I feel
marginally.
like you are setting up Bronny to look like an entitled brat around the league.
Could be.
You're setting him up
I think
to
that's
look like
less
a guy,
of a concern of everybody's.
But it should be to LeBron. That's his son, and he doesn't need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a fair point.
That's a parenting
But
question,
if you
not a
can-
basketball one.
you're right. He doesn't need to do it. But if
But
you
there is
can
no
do
basketball
it,
one.
Yeah.
why not do it?
Yeah.
Well, I gave you
I
a bunch
mean,
of
if you were
reasons.
Travis,
Somebody's
that's
going
why.
to do it.
Yeah, if
I
you
know
were,
who I want to have do it.
Yeah, if you were so successful at this radio station that you leaving would cripple the station, and you say your son Bobby wants to be on the air.
I don't think I'd want to hire him, but go ahead.
Yeah, but what I would do if I was manager of audio operations, if I was Bergman, in order to keep you, I'd throw him on the LAFC pregame. You know, I mean, why not?
No,
sorry, Mario.
It's yes.
Best of
That
luck,
when
Dental.
you have the hammer in your hands, you swing it because you're not going
And
to have it for
that's
very
what we're
long.
talking about.
But I guess the difference is when you're Bronny and you have all these options in front of you and your great-grandchildren are set for life, I wouldn't ask my father to swing the hammer this way.
The hidden lead is that Eric Musselman's going to make SC really good at basketball.
I agree.
He's a really good coach.
Yeah, married to a sportscaster.
Yeah, Daniel Sargent. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Super Crosstalks brought to you by In-N-Out. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger's all about. Have a great weekend.